It's Wednesday, March 25th. Today, breaking down the budget, cheaper groceries, improved wildfire prevention, and a new cardiac center. Everything you need to know about the province's spending and how some leaders reacted to the budget. Also today, plenty of craters in Winnipeg streets, how drivers and local tire shops are getting by as pothole season arrives in Winnipeg. Plus, having fun in the mud and feeling the freedom. A group of ATV owners is bringing a speed boost to men's mental health. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Wednesday to you. We made it halfway through the week. We made it through budget day as well. We're going to get some reaction to yesterday's budget day announcements at about 8:15. And Ainsley McPhail is live at the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada. They're getting ready for spring break, which is, of course, next week. The kids, if you're looking for something fun for them to do, that might be a location you want to check out with the kids. They'll learn something and they won't even know it. And it's a cool space. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But the weather, it went for a walk last night. The breeze wasn't too bad, though. It was a pleasant walk. I'm with you on that. Yeah, yesterday did end up being quite a pleasant day. And now it looks like winter all over again. But here's the thing about it. The temperatures today, they're not going to be nasty, but they might get cooler as the day goes on, dropping off by a few degrees. We're sitting right now at -2. It feels more like -8. That's with a 22K wind out of the northeast. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 97%. So it's not cold. It is snowy, though, and you're going to notice those flurries falling pretty much off and on throughout the day. And there you can see on the satellite image exactly what I'm talking about, all of central, southern Manitoba. And even because of these temperatures, as mild as they are, showing up in some mixed forms in areas just to the south of us, we will, like I said, watch those temperatures drop a few degrees throughout the day today. So what might start out as a bit of mixed precipitation could end up as straight up flurries as the day goes on and these temperatures cool ever so slightly. It does still look like it's going to be fairly clear through parts of northern Manitoba, so enjoy that bit of sunshine that you'll have. Here in the south, no, don't expect much in the way of sunshine. As I mentioned, it's going to look a little bit wintry and perhaps a couple of centimeters of accumulation. But then it tapers off into the overnight hours, and tomorrow it will be a little bit clearer. We'll get back to the sunshine, but the temperatures will get a little bit colder then too. So today the temperature falling throughout the day today. Tomorrow, as it clears out, it's actually going to be a little bit chillier and closer to overnight lows than seasonal daytime highs. But after that, the gains will be slow, but we will eventually get back up to the freezing mark. And by the time we're wrapping up the weekend and looking ahead to next week, we'll even spend a couple days above the freezing mark. Thank you, Terry. A tax is coming off your grocery bill on July the 1st. The 2026 provincial budget eliminates the PST on all groceries. It's a move the province says will save Manitobans $32 million a year. CTV's Jeff Keel breaks down the big budget announcements and examines where Manitobans could see an impact.
The Canoe government's 2026 budget is promising to help Manitobans out at the grocery till.
Manitoba is leading the way when it comes to tackling rising grocery costs.
On affordability, the province will remove the PST from all grocery items on July 1st, saving shoppers $32 million a year. The school property tax rebate will go up by $100 to $1,700, but new this year, it will be reduced on homes worth more than $1 million and eliminated for all homes over $1.5 million. The renter's tax credit is going up by $50, and the province will spend $10 million to make transit free for K-12 students. The province says the PST cut on groceries will save people money on things like rotisserie chickens, sandwiches, and snack food.
These are the things they're buying when they go to the grocery store. Like I mentioned earlier, you're getting ready for a birthday party, you got to buy those cans of pop and the chips.
Anything that brings those grocery bills down is a net positive for those Manitoba families.
But the opposition believes it won't make a difference.
Largely, groceries are exempt from paying PST already. These are real measures to make life affordable.
The budget also has $22 million for a new cardiac center at St. B, more than $13 million for a mental health zone beside HSC's ER, 32 beds at Siloam Mission to take pressure off hospitals, free daycare for 3,500 low-income families, and a pledge to have fresher and healthier foods at personal care homes.
I think my physician colleagues across Manitoba are going to be really happy to see continued investments in healthcare.
Coming off the worst wildfire season in recent memory, there is $75 million for a new fire base near Thompson. Design work will begin this year for the Carberry overpass and twinning Highway 1 to the Ontario border. There is a $10 million fund to attract investment for the Churchill corridor and a promise of 12 new police officers. But there was a glaring budget omission: funding for Phase 3 of Winnipeg's most expensive project.
I was disappointed to not hear anything in the speech about the North End plant. That is a shovel-ready project.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
We also learned the province plans to launch an inquiry into the former PC government's efforts to get an environmental license for a CO silica project in 2023. The budget says the province is projecting a deficit of $498 million for the upcoming fiscal year. That's down from the current $1.6 billion number. The province says they are sticking to the pledge of balancing the books by 2027-2028. A Winnipeg doctor who intervened during an horrific stabbing attack at Seven Oaks General Hospital is set to receive one of the highest civilian honors. Dr. Kenneth Hallweg tackled a knife-wielding attacker who had just stabbed a nurse in October of 2021 before chasing him from the building where he was arrested. Dr. Hallweg then returned to the victim and provided first aid. On Thursday, Governor General Mary Simon will present him with a Medal of Bravery in recognition of his heroism that day. Dr. Hallweg is one of 31 Canadians receiving decorations for bravery. He was previously recognized with an award for bravery by Doctors Manitoba. We have new information now on the timing of the crash at LaGuardia Airport that killed 2 Canadian pilots. Investigators say the fire truck was cleared to cross the runway just 12 seconds before the Air Canada Jazz flight touched down.
At 25 seconds, Truck 1 requested to cross runway 4 at taxiway Delta. At 20 seconds, the tower cleared Truck 1 and company to cross runway 4. At 9 seconds, the tower instructed Truck 1 to stop.
Stop, Truck 1, stop, Truck 1, stop, Truck 1, stop.
There were also at least 10 calls to stop the truck. That went unanswered. New details also show the U.S. Port Authority fire truck that collided with the plane did not have a tracking device on board, something that could have alerted the airport's surface detection system of its location. The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board is also looking into the air traffic controllers who were working at the time. It is common practice to have just 2 controllers on duty overnight, but the NTSB is now looking to determine if that is enough. NTSB investigators have not yet interviewed the firefighters in the truck to determine whether they braked or turned to avoid the collision. Air Canada's CEO has been summoned to Ottawa after backlash over his video message about the tragic crash at LaGuardia.
Oh, bonjour.
Michael Russo has been asked to explain why he spoke only English when he offered condolences to the victims yesterday. The crash killed both pilots, one of whom was from Quebec. In the address, there were only 2 words in French. The Official Languages Committee is strongly condemning the statement for not being bilingual and has voted unanimously to summon Russo to Ottawa by May the 1st. The remains of a First World War soldier who died in France have been identified as a man from Manitoba. The Department of Defense says the remains are those of Private Albert Henry Detmold, who was born in Hamburg, Germany in 1884 before immigrating to a homestead near Roblin at 18 years old. Detmold enlisted with the 107th Overseas Battalion in Winnipeg in 1916. Several artifacts were found with him, including his pickaxe, gas mask, coins, pocket knife, and boots. He was reportedly killed on the first day of the Battle of Hill 70 in August of 1917 at the age of 33. His remains were discovered in 2020.
There's about 1,300 Canadians that are missing from that specific battle. So without an artifact to tell us which unit that they're a part of, you know, the list of candidates starts at 1,300, which is quite large.
The unit identifier found with the remains helped narrow that down. A DNA analysis then provided a final identification. In July, Private Detmold will be buried in France alongside other members of his unit. Mexico City is already gearing up to co-host the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The city hosted a special parade similar to those held for the Day of the Dead. They say it's a perfect meeting of tradition, art, culture, sport, and celebration. The first match of this year's World Cup is in Mexico City on June 11th, when Mexico takes on South Africa. Here's a look at what's going on right now at Confusion Corner. It looks like things are moving quite well, starting off this Wednesday. I wish it was Friday. This Wednesday morning. If you see any problems out on the streets, send us a text, please. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is...
It's Friday.
It feels like a Friday. Yes, indeed. You're at the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada. It's just, even looking behind you, it's such a spectacular place. Tell us more.
Good morning. It's the best. I love it. And as the sun comes up, it's such a beautiful place to be. But imagine we were in space. That's what the spring break programming is all about. Jeremy Hansen, the astronaut, actually signed the tail fin over there. And we're going to have a look at that coming up later on in the show. They're going to be decorating, I'll say, with this whole place with different activities for the kids to take part in. There's also events we're going to be previewing. For instance, May the 4th. There's a reader series, and we might even get a chance to meet Hobbs the mascot. So kids, if you're watching, there's a pretty cool mascot here. Stay with us.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's sort of the calm before the snow comes back.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be terrible. Some places will certainly see a little more than others. Right now, it seems to have tapered off momentarily because we will very likely see it developing or picking up once again. -3, that temperature has also dropped off from -2 last hour, or if you go back further into the night, just after midnight, it was 1 degree, +1, and we've fallen from there, and we'll continue to likely drop another degree or 2 throughout the day today. A bit of a breeze this morning, 27K winds out of the north-northeast, making it feel more like -10. The pressure is falling, and the humidity sitting at 96%. So yes, we will deal with some heavier clouds. They're going to be hanging around throughout the day today, central, southern Manitoba, the same places that can expect to deal with the snow, or in areas just south of us, perhaps mild enough that it's more mixed precipitation. I think in Winnipeg it'll probably be just straight up flurries, and not a massive amount, but a couple of centimeters is possible. And I feel like anything this time of year is like, oh, it just weighs on us. Far more than 10 centimeters might weigh on us in January. But yes, spring snow is what we can expect today, with a little more sunshine up north. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
Good morning. Spring has returned to Winnipeg, and with that season comes thousands of potholes. They're all over the city, and in some cases, they're more than just an annoyance. CTV's John Hendricks has more from Waffle drivers and what the city is doing to repair the roads.
You don't have to rocket to the moon to see craters. Just drive down many Winnipeg streets and you'll find plenty.
They're bad all over. It's just terrible.
Winnipeg's Active Courier has 8 vehicles in its fleet, zipping around the city, delivering parcels, documents, and other items. Owner Clark Palale says his drivers are constantly trying to avoid potholes, but sometimes they can't, and their vehicles get damaged.
Mainly to our axles. A lot of our wheel bearings, and just generally the drivetrain itself. Potholes are a major factor in regards to those things.
And it isn't just couriers experiencing pothole-related problems. The repair bay at Penner Auto Body is filling up with cars that got damaged by hitting potholes.
You know, sometimes we'll get the vehicle in thinking we're just going to be fixing a flat tire, and then we realize there's more suspension components that are damaged.
Potholes is really a symptom of a deteriorating pavement.
Michael Cantor, the city's manager of street maintenance, says they've already filled 15,000 potholes this year already. And he says there's a big effort underway to patch even more right now. However, some streets, especially the ones nearing the end of their operational lifespan, aren't cooperating.
We have some locations that we visit daily just to keep going and to keep those roads safe.
In the meantime, Clark Palale says drivers should slow down and keep a watchful eye open for the craters on the road.
You're going to destroy something in your vehicle if you're not careful.
John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
At the moment, the city is using an asphalt cold mix to patch the potholes. In May, they'll switch over to the hot asphalt, which offers a longer lasting repair. Michael Cantor says they have identified some roads that will get an asphalt overlay during the summer, which should result in fewer potholes the next spring. An Ottawa crossing guard injured in a hit and run has died. 55-year-old Peter Clark was hit by a pickup truck Monday while on duty near an elementary school. Police are now searching for dark-colored Ford F-150. On Tuesday, a moment of silence was held in the Ontario Legislature, marking Crossing Guard Awareness Day in Ontario. One of Canada's most wanted fugitives has been arrested in the U.S. 28-year-old Adrian Walker was taken into custody in Mississippi on Monday. He will be extradited to Toronto, where he'll be charged with first-degree murder and attempted murder in connection with a fatal shooting back in 2024. Walker was 14th on Canada's list of the 25 most wanted fugitives. The U.S. is moving troops into the Middle East, even as U.S. President Donald Trump says talks with Iran are progressing. Reports say the Pentagon will deploy about 1,000 members of the Army's 82nd Airborne Division over the next several days. This morning, Iran launched more strikes in the Gulf region, including this attack in northern Iraq. As for how talks are going, Iran's military has responded to President Trump this morning, saying the U.S. is, quote, negotiating with itself. The U.S. president, on the other hand, says Iran wants a deal.
They're going to make a deal. They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. And it was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money.
There does appear to be some progress on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says non-hostile ships can safely pass through the strait only if they coordinate with Iranian officials. Oil prices are down this morning on news that more ships may be able to pass through the vital shipping lane. Thompson General Hospital is making some changes to improve security. Starting today, patients and the public will use a centralized entry point to access the hospital. A security checkpoint has been set up at the main entrance where a verbal screening will take place, and items may be searched or can be placed in an amnesty locker. Those requiring emergency care will be expedited. The changes don't apply to staff or first responders. In November, the hospital was grey-listed by the Manitoba Nurses Union over unsafe working conditions. A bowl of soup is helping feed Manitoba students. People in downtown Winnipeg got the chance to sample some soups Tuesday as the Child Nutrition Council of Manitoba launched its 14th annual Stone Soup fundraiser. Over the next week, more than 40 restaurants around the province are offering a signature soup for sale. $1 from each bowl will help support food programs in Manitoba schools.
Our event today is Stone Soup, which really is about the folktale Stone Soup, which we really see the value of community coming together. We can achieve more when we work together, and that's really what school food programs are all about.
The Child Nutrition Council currently partners with more than 400 schools, supporting 80,000 students across Manitoba every day. In addition to providing healthy meals, the council also helps students create healthy eating habits and improves their food literacy. You can find a list of restaurants participating in the Stone Soup fundraiser on the Child Nutrition Council's website. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. All northbound lanes on Banning Street will be closed between Sargent and Ellis Avenue. Following the rush, the southbound curb lane on Pembina Highway will be closed from McGilvery to Waller Avenue. And all westbound lanes on Bannatyne Avenue will be closed from Waterfront Drive to Rory Street. If you see any other traffic issues out there, please send us a text.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
A look now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. So we've been seeing some off and on flurries over the course of the morning, and we'll see plenty more over the course of the day. A couple of centimeters is possible of accumulation, and just basically looking a little more like winter than perhaps some of us would like to see. I was just noticing yesterday, actually, my driver in the morning pointed out to me how little snow was left, how those big snow banks seem to have melted. Well, they're going to be growing again today with a little more precipitation to come. However, some places could be seeing it in more mixed form, and that's because these temperatures are still quite mild. You can see in areas just to the south of us, Morden-Winkler just barely below the freezing mark, Portage-la-Prairie and Kenora coming in at -2. Winnipeg a little bit cooler than that. This model is showing -4, -3 was what was reading out at the airport a moment ago. Up into northern Manitoba, this is where things are really feeling more like winter, with these temperatures in the low -20s or mid -30s. It is so much colder across northern Manitoba, and this has been going on for days now. Now, it's also going to be clearer across northern Manitoba, but clear often means cold, and those wind chill values certainly indicating that, pushing up into the -40s as for what it's feeling like today. What it's looking like, yeah, snowy here across southern Manitoba, or that mixed precipitation in areas just to the south of us. So we'll be seeing that off and on over the course of the day, as these temperatures might drop off another degree or so. -4 is probably where we'll end up by the time kids are coming home from school today. Now, +3, that would be a normal daytime high, so we'll be falling further from that number, but regaining some of that by the end of the weekend. Tomorrow, though, only colder yet, even though it's going to be clearing out. So -7, expect some sunshine, though. What an incredible shot that Paul was able to capture of this spruce grouse out in Riding Mountain National Park. Thank you for sharing this with us. Lovely picture. And keep the photos coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. We'll be back right after this.
We have a traffic alert to tell you about. A collision has knocked down the traffic signals on Broadway at Sherbrooke. So traffic signals are flashing red for all directions there. So treat that as an always stop and use caution passing through that intersection. Both westbound and northbound curb lanes are blocked. Get ready to join some of your favorite pups. Paw Patrol Live, a mighty adventure, is coming to the Centennial Concert Hall on April 4th for one show only. And Your Morning Winnipeg is giving away a pass for 4 this week. The live stage performance follows favorite characters in the animated preschool series Paw Patrol. The rescue dogs must face off against a super villain scientist who places the city's biggest party in danger. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and don't forget to enter the keyword adventure. Good luck. With less than 3 months to go until this country hosts the FIFA World Cup, Team Canada and Toronto Stadium appear to be ready despite some concerns. Training camp is underway ahead of a couple of warm-up matches at BMO Field. CTV's Heather Wright has more on the finishing touches.
On a sunny but frosty field in the northwest corner of Toronto, members of Canada's men's national soccer team took to the pitch today. The team is in town for 2 friendlies as the squad preps for the World Cup, now just 80 days away.
We're calm, we're focused, we're ready. And I think we've all been preparing for that moment, and we know there's still preparations leading up to that, but come June 12th, we know we'll be ready for that moment.
Included in the work, promos. The team spent the morning shooting videos, photos, and interviews that will be part of the World Cup broadcast.
It's a dream come true for me personally, but the team, to inspire the next generation.
For these players, competing in a World Cup was never a given. Canada went 36 years without qualifying for the tournament. And so to be representing their country at home is something many only dreamed of as kids.
And I thought World Cups are only for the Brazils, the Spains, the Italys of the world, and not for Canadians. So to be standing here today, and as you said, 80 days out, couldn't ask for more.
With less than 3 months to go until the tournament kicks off, work is wrapping up at Toronto's BMO Field. 17,000 seats have been added to the stadium, with pictures like this prompting some safety concerns. Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, which owns the stadium, says the seating meets the highest standards. Following practice, Team Canada coach Jesse Marsh was asked about the temporary seating.
When you see some of the pictures online that take these perspectives that make it look like it's perilous sitting in the stands, that's not great. But when you're in the stadium, it's pretty cool, I think. And I think once you get a lot of people in the stands, it'll be great.
So as the final preparations get underway in Toronto and Vancouver, there are still plenty of questions about the team that will take to the field on June 12th, with many would-be starters dealing with injuries, including team captain Alphonso Davies. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
The most daring mountain bikers in the world rode in South Africa's winelands, but not for drink. It was to get big air at Darkfest. The Big Air mountain biking event is in its 10th year. To mark the occasion, the event opened a new line, which includes a jump with a 110-foot gap. There was even some Canadian content at this year's event. Canadian Matt McDuff won an award for the best trick of the weekend.
It's -3 outside right now. but it feels more like -10. This with winds out of the north-northeast, 27 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 96%. That temperature dropping off. It's cooling over the course of the morning. We're going to end up at about -4, maybe holding steady there through the afternoon, although the speed at which that temperature is falling this morning, we could perhaps fall even further from that. So expect things to be cooling down a little bit and looking more like winter. You can see all of the activity showing up here on the satellite image. The flurries that are moving all across southern Manitoba and even central Manitoba might be seeing a bit of that. Further into the north, you can see it's clear. It is also very cold. Northern Manitoba has been stuck in, I don't want to call it the deep freeze because, I mean, compared to January, but still, you're waking up to temperatures in -30s across northern Manitoba right now and feeling in the -40s. So, yes, very much does feel like January, I suppose. Here in the south, we will be dropping off with these temperatures, probably to about -4. We'll see if we fall further from that. Also falling will be those flurries off and on throughout the day, and in fact, that will actually continue into the overnight hours as we drop down to about -12, and those winds increase slightly. A 30K wind out of the north overnight and throughout the day tomorrow, but the sky should clear, the snow will end. We'll see a little more sunshine, but it will remain cool and well below normal with -8, a normal low temperature, and that's closer to where we'll be with those daytime highs. Never mind a seasonal high of +3, but we will get back up to those numbers maybe by the time we're wrapping up the weekend, and then again some off and on precipitation as we continue on throughout the week.
A small business advocacy group is encouraging governments not to lose momentum when it comes to dismantling interprovincial trade barriers.
I will say we've seen unprecedented strides of commitments being made towards freer internal trade in the last year. However, we haven't really seen all that much action following up with it, which is unfortunate.
The Canadian Federation of Independent Business says it's optimistic about the number of new pieces of legislation being signed across the country, such as the Canadian Mutual Recognition Agreement to boost interprovincial trade. However, it says the issue is they're being implemented too slowly and in many cases contain carve-outs for things like alcohol, food and labor, dampening their effectiveness.
We are trying to, push governments towards expanding all of the agreements and legislation to allow the mutual recognition of food, to allow for mutual recognition of alcohol as well. Something that we hear often from different businesses is that it's very difficult to hire or send labor to other provinces and territories.
Last year, 11 jurisdictions signed a memorandum of understanding to allow direct-to-consumer sales of alcoholic beverages. The deadline is May, but the CFIB says most provinces, aside from New Brunswick and Manitoba, have yet to make much progress to actually bring it into force. The head of the union representing 55,000 Canada Post employees is now asking workers to reject a tentative contract agreement. According to a newsletter published by the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, 60% of the National Executive Board are recommending workers vote in favor of the deal. But National President of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, Jan Simpson, and 4 other members of the union's leadership disagree. They argue the deal abandons most of what the union membership wanted to see in a contract. They say they will bargain for a better deal if this offer is rejected. Voting on the tentative deal is set to take place from April 20th to May 30th. A group of ATV lovers in southeastern Manitoba is spreading its mission to other provinces. It's all for a good cause, including men's mental health. They say the riding experience is liberating and leads to open conversations. CTV's Harrison Shin spoke to the founder.
Don't bottle it in, just ride it out. There's no judgment for small hiccups, but you don't have to go through it alone. This isn't an advice just for riding ATVs. It is what Cowboy Mud Racing from St. Pierre-Jolie does for men's mental health.
We want to take guys that are down and out and miserable and having a bad walk in life and just show them that, hey, there's still fun to be had out here, and that's where the ATVing comes into play.
The group was Ryan Ward's idea after he went mud bogging with his boss, Brian the Pops Brown. Ward says he had a lot of stress and anxiety at the time, but
when I went through that pit, it was like 14 seconds of freedom. And I remember coming out of that pit and I just felt free. I felt that like nothing around me mattered, and I had dealt with the stuff that was really like pent up and I was really stressed out with.
Ward says he survived abuse, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other mental health issues, with the help from Brown.
He's grown a lot since I first met him. He's changed a lot in all good ways.
The Cowboys have already expanded to Alberta and Ontario, with British Columbia in the works. But the message of honesty, openness, and integrity, what the Cowboys stands for, won't stop there.
We want to see a Cowboys office in every single city in every single province across Canada.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Whitemouth, Manitoba.
The Winnipeg Jets were hoping to string together a couple of wins as they hosted the visiting Vegas Golden Knights.
He might have been in business. Morrissey, a nice move at the line. Cross ice, there's a shot. Connor scored!
Kyle Connor opened the scoring for the Jets, notching his team leading 32nd goal on the year. Alex Iafallo and Cole Perfetti joined the score sheet as the team built a 3-0 lead over the Knights. Vegas would respond with a goal in the second period, but the Jets stood tall, defeating the Knights 4-1. Mark Scheifele matched Connor's goal total with an empty netter and 2 helpers for a 3-point night. Connor Hellebuck made 26 saves for the Jets. They'll next see action at home against the league-leading Colorado Avalanche on Thursday. Game time is 7 p.m. NASA has announced plans to build a multi-billion-dollar base on the surface of the moon.
The moon base will not appear overnight. We will invest approximately $20 billion over the next 7 years and build it through dozens of missions, working together with commercial and international partners towards a deliberate and achievable plan.
The space agency says the base will support sustained operations on the lunar surface. The change comes as NASA prepares for the next step in the Artemis mission. Canadian Jeremy Hansen will fly around the moon with liftoff scheduled for April the 1st. Here's a look at traffic now along the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are slowly picking up in this part of the city, but overall moving quite well. If you see any issues out there, please let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. They still continue to rise. The Canadian average now is $1.73. The provincial average is $1.69. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.70. And the lowest price in the city is $1.52. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. Coming up, Ainsley is live this morning at the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada. They're getting ready for your kids for spring break. Stay with us for more.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
All right, every now and then I'm seeing a flake of snow. We're probably going to see that activity increasing a little bit throughout the day today. Our temperatures have only been dropping off. We're sitting now at -4, which compared to low temperatures of -8, not too bad, but we're only going to get further from those normal daytime highs that would put us about +3. So no, it's going to be cooling throughout the day today and looking a little more like winter with more snow on the way. A 25k wind right now out of the north-northeast, and suddenly -4 feels more like -12. Pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 96%. Now the snow is very light. I mean, it's just a few flakes here or there. Off and on throughout the day though, we could be seeing this activity continuing and amounting to perhaps a couple of centimeters of snow. Much of central and southern Manitoba will be in for this kind of activity today, whereas northern Manitoba, a clearer day, a colder day, but at least you'll have some sunshine to enjoy if you're properly bundled up. We've got Ainsley McPhail out on location this morning. Let's check in and see where she's at. Hi, Ainsley.
Good morning. We're at the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada. Ainsley, James. Good morning, James. What's going on for spring break?
Spring break is mini astronaut training week here at the museum.
So, well, sorry to cut you off, but I have to get to it immediately. What's this?
That's just one sample of the different activities we're going to have around the museum. So this is your moon rover exercise here. Kids can get to try that out. It's going off on its own now. But we're going to have a few of these around, as well as a few other activities.
Please explain.
Yeah, sure. Well, with Jeremy Hansen going to the moon coming up, we decided to theme everything a little bit astronaut for this spring break, which is running March 28th to April 3rd. And we've got different stations throughout the museum. It'll be included with admission, no extra cost. They're all space themed and they're all kind of hands-on learning experiences.
Oh, I love that. And I understand that Jeremy put a little bit of a marking or on one of the planes here.
Yeah, we can show you that later if you'd like. But yeah, when Jeremy Hansen came by the museum, he signed one of our planes because it has the same unit number as him, so when he flew.
It's a great activity space here at the museum, especially as spring break is here. Tell us about who it's for. What ages, I should say.
Yeah, sure. So it's ideally for kids and families. So you're talking about age 3 to maybe 13, 12, something like that. It's hands-on, it's fun, it's interactive. So it's a good way to get out and do something different.
What else would you like to preview?
Well, right after spring break on the 4th, we go into our Easter scavenger hunt. It's one of the most popular days of the year, and it's one of the few times that you can get advance tickets are required, but yeah.
Is there a strategy to this little moon demonstration? Because I don't think I'd be very good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's part of the point, is just examining how difficult these kind of things can be in real life. And, you know, we're talking about different gravities and interesting things to focus on.
Oh, my goodness. The thing about gravity. Okay. What are those dates, real quick?
Yeah, so March 28th to April 3rd is spring break, mini astronaut week, and April 4th is our Easter event.
Thank you so much. More coming up on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones rose 401 points. The Nasdaq added 247. The S&P index is 55 points higher. The Canadian dollar decreased to 72.50 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng gained 272 points, and the Nikkei boosted 1,497 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. A Winnipeg doctor who intervened during a horrific stabbing attack at Seven Oaks General Hospital is set to receive one of the highest civilian honors. Dr. Kenneth Hallweg tackled a knife-wielding attacker who had just stabbed a nurse in October of 2021 before chasing him from the building where he was arrested. Dr. Hallweg then returned to the victim and provided first aid. On Thursday, Governor General Mary Simon will present him with the Medal of Bravery in recognition of his heroism that day. Dr. Hallweg is one of 31 Canadians receiving decorations for bravery. He was previously recognized with an award for bravery by Doctors Manitoba. The family of a hiker who died on a mountain in BC is now facing a hefty medical bill. In a statement, the Pacific Northwest Outdoor Association says the man fell about 100 meters on Brunswick Mountain near Lions Bay after trying to help another hiker who slipped. He died Sunday in hospital. A GoFundMe page has now been set up identifying the hiker as Yan Chen. He was visiting from China. The fundraiser says his family is devastated and have now been left with overwhelming non-resident ICU medical bills from Vancouver General Hospital. So far, the GoFundMe has raised more than $54,000. Lawyers for the Quebec government have told the Supreme Court there should be no new limits on the use of the notwithstanding clause in Canada's Constitution. This came on the second day of hearings about Quebec's secularism law, the one that bans some public sector workers from wearing religious symbols on the job. The Quebec government is asking the Supreme Court of Canada to uphold the law, arguing the Constitution allows the province to override the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Quebec's Attorney General's office says the province has the power to preemptively use the notwithstanding clause, even if it is controversial. Lawyers for the groups challenging Bill 21 told the court the law goes too far in circumventing charter rights and is unconstitutional. Hearings will last until Thursday. In Ukraine, a rare daytime Russian drone strike hit a UNESCO heritage site. The drone attack injured at least 22 people and damaged part of St. Andrew's Church in the western city of Lviv. The church dates back to the 17th century and has been designated a World Heritage Site by the United Nations. A new study finds early and frequent cannabis use is linked to several problems for high school students, including lower grades and difficulties with social and emotional control. The research shows a clear dose response pattern. Teens who used cannabis monthly, weekly, or daily had worse academic performance and more issues with impulsivity and aggressive behavior than non-users. The negative effects were strongest among teens under the age of 16. Risk-taking behaviors were more common in girls than in boys. Cannabis use was also more frequent among teens with easier access and friends who use it. If you're concerned about your child's use of cannabis, you're encouraged to speak with a medical professional. The number of girls playing football in Manitoba is growing. The Winnipeg Football Club 2025 Community Impact Report notes the Girls High School Flag Football League is set to expand to 40 teams this spring. Last year, it had 29 teams with more than 420 athletes. 252 were new players. It also expanded from 2 divisions in 2024 to 3 in 2025. This year, all major Winnipeg high schools will field a team. The Winnipeg Football Club also hosted a free girls play football program this winter, which saw 150 participants register and provided flag football kits to every school in Manitoba. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. All northbound lanes on Banning Street will be closed between Sargent and Ellis Avenue. Following the rush, the southbound curb lane on Pembina Highway will be closed from McGilvery to Waller Avenue. And all westbound lanes on Bannatyne Avenue will be closed from Waterfront Drive to Rory Street. And we also have a traffic alert to tell you about. Henderson Street is closed between Johnson to Hespeler due to a fire. All southbound lanes are closed and rerouting onto Noble. Only one lane is open there, so expect significant delays and use alternate routes.
It's -4 outside this morning. Bit of a breeze, though. A 25K wind out of the north-northeast. The pressure is falling. The humidity sitting at 96%. We've been watching that temperature falling over the course of the morning, and so too the snow here through central and southern Manitoba. It's very light right now, but over the course of the day, it could amount to a couple centimeters, perhaps. Central and northern Manitoba, things will be a little more clear the further that you go into the north. Central Manitoba might still see a little bit of flurry activity, but for northern Manitoba, a fair bit of sunshine. It's just that that sunshine is not really warming you up. You're still looking at these very cold, well below seasonal temperatures. For example, Churchill climbing to a high of -22 later today. Other parts of the north won't be quite that cold, but still colder than you might expect, in the minus double digits, mid-minus teens. Yes, the sun will be shining. It'll look beautiful and bright, but you're going to need all of those layers if you hope to be outside and comfortable at all. Then the heavier clouds through parts of central Manitoba. Further that you go into the south, you're more likely to encounter that precipitation. And many of us through the south will be watching these temperatures fall throughout the day today. It will be slightly below seasonal, bit of a breeze that we'll deal with as well. And getting even colder as it clears, if you can believe that. So -1 is where we were. That was our warmer temperature earlier this morning, but we've already dropped to about -4 and might even still lose another degree or 2. Northwestern Ontario can also expect to see some of that precipitation further to the east of us. Now, clearing for tomorrow. It's still going to be colder, yes, but the sunshine will look good. High of just -7, slowly warming back up to the freezing mark for Saturday and hitting those more seasonal temperatures as we're wrapping up the weekend Sunday.
Thank you, Terry. An entrepreneur is sharing her incredible story with Ottawa's business leaders. Emily O'Brien made a serious mistake and went to prison. But from there, she launched a wildly successful business. CTV's Camille Wilson tells us how.
Emily O'Brien admits she made a terrible mistake a decade ago.
I met someone who was allegedly sober, brought me on this trip. I'd known him for like 8 or 9 months. 3 days into the trip, I find out that it's a drug operation, that he owes money to some people, and they have my passport information because he booked the trip.
Caught up in a drug smuggling scheme for smuggling 2 kilograms of cocaine into Canada.
It started in the most unlikely and unfortunate of places. That was federal prison. In 2015, I was arrested at Pearson International Airport.
Popcorn being a popular prison snack, O'Brien says her and some other inmates decided to put their own little twist on it. And that's where her popcorn comeback snacks was created.
We'd make popcorn, like people would make birthday cakes and stuff, just trying to like make it seem a little bit not like prejudice. It became kind of like a family in there just to get us through this tough time. And so we'd also make popcorn, and we'd put different recipes on like different spices.
The business is a success. Now she's sharing her story with business leaders at Invest Ottawa and how she turned this mistake into a business where she sells snacks in more than 1,200 stores in Canada and will soon have a deal in the U.S.
Emily's story is phenomenal, and just the whole theme of International Women's Month, or Women's Day, is give to gain, accelerate and grow and thrive. And so Emily's story is all about that. It's about her resilience, her passion, her desire, her drive, and then through that she actually gives back to the people in her community as well.
She's also hired people who were incarcerated, turning her success into an opportunity for others to have a second chance.
This work has brought me all over Canada, and I've done podcasts and interviews all over the world. Like, no matter what you go through, no matter, what failures you have or what mistakes you make, you can come back from them.
Camille Wilson, CTV News.
A senior on Vancouver Island has filled her 80 years with extraordinary adventures. Now she's turning one of her bucket list items into a children's book. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains.
For as long as she can recall, Sharon Stevens Smith has been compelled to make lists.
Write everything down that you want to do in your life. Doesn't matter how ridiculous it is.
From childhood through to her early 20s, Sharon's list of life goals was relatively consistent.
Ride a motorcycle, go to Africa, work with the primates, and one day I'm going to write a children's book.
While she worked as a nurse for a few years before becoming a realtor for almost 40, Sharon always returned to her list. Like when she bought a motorcycle, sight unseen.
Didn't even have a license. Never even sat on a motorcycle.
Yet 3 weeks later, Sharon had taken lessons, earned her license, and rode from Vancouver Island to a major bike rally in South Dakota.
So it was very unusual to see a woman in those days, and the trucks and everything would go by me, and they'd give me the thumbs up. Like, there's a crazy woman on a bike.
Sharon crossed Africa off her list 3 times after returning to university as a mature student, partaking in archaeological digs, and inspiring a marriage proposal.
The chief wanted to buy me for 3 camels and 4 goats. I said, first of all, is that a good price or not before I commit?
As for studying primates, Sharon traveled to Borneo to do research with the world's leading ape expert and befriended a rescue orangutan named Herbie.
Oh, he was a real character. We had lots of fun.
Now, 20 years after crossing offshore sailing with calico cats off her list, the expedition has inspired the now 80-year-old to cross off, write a children's book, too.
You better get cracking here. You haven't got that many more years left. That's how I look at things.
But Sharon is also sharing Runty and Trudy's grand sailing adventure with the public, with the hope that publishing the true story will inspire readers of all ages to embrace the unfamiliar and live a courageous life.
We have one life. Let's make the best we can.
And no matter what's on your list, Sharon says, just commit to do it.
The great thing is once you check the list off and you think, okay, next.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Via Royal.
That's wonderful. All right, here's a look outside now at the Provincial Bridge. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. It's Wednesday, March 25th. Today, budget breakdown, how grocery tax cuts, rebates, and new spending plans are expected to impact Manitobans. Plus, fallen hero named, a Manitoba First World War soldier is identified more than a century later. And plus, soup saves the day. One bowl goes a long way in helping feed Manitoba students. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Wednesday to you. To 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, we know that measles cases are on the rise. In fact, we have some of the highest numbers in the country. We have the highest numbers in the country. It's a fact at this point, and it continues to rise. There have been super spreader events as well, and so healthcare officials are reminding people about the importance of getting vaccinated, and if not vaccinated, then to avoid certain gatherings, especially as we head into spring break, as well as Easter celebrations with families. So we need to think about that. We have reminders at 7:52. But the weather today it's not going to be pleasant.
Well, it's not going to be awful either. Well, I suppose it depends where you are, because there's some places that'll be seeing a lot more snow than others. We're going to be seeing a little bit of snow, not a massive amount, maybe a couple of centimeters here in Winnipeg. But where the bulk of the snow is falling is actually off through west central Manitoba. And probably the bulk of it actually fell overnight. So if you woke up to massive amounts through west central Manitoba, it'll be like this. Yeah, we got it. We got it all for the rest of you. Take one for the team. It's out around the Riding Mountain National Park area, and 15 centimeters was expected from last night and into this morning. -4 at the moment. North-northeast winds, 25 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling, the humidity sitting at 96%. So if you happen to be in that area, I would love to hear from you. Let me know. Just send me some pictures of how much snow you perhaps got. That's all the area right in around there, where you can see is looking still pretty gray, like the activity is still very much moving through. Now, we're also likely to see some of that activity just very much on the lighter side here through southern Manitoba. Northern Manitoba, clear for you, but it has been cold, and that's going to be the case once again today, dealing with these well below seasonal temperatures, but a lot more sunshine expected. Here through central and southern Manitoba, the heavier clouds will hang around. The snow will eventually taper off, lingering a little bit longer in that zone that is expected to be the hardest hit by this system passing through. There you can see even right into evening time, still that lingering precipitation through that more central stretch. We'll see things clearing out eventually tomorrow, back to some sunshine. It will likely be colder for tomorrow, although even today we've been watching these temperatures dropping off. We were at -1 and it's only steadily fallen since then. Tomorrow considerably cooler but sunnier, and eventually getting back up to those more seasonal temperatures once we're looking ahead to the weekend. I thought the snowman was pretty fitting for our art today. Thank you, Jack, 5 years old. We appreciate you sharing that with us. We'd love to see more of your art. Now you submit it through our webpage. So go to ctvnewswinnipeg.ca and fill out the form there. You'll not just have your chance to have your art showcased on TV, but you could enter to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
A Winnipeg man is in hospital following a Tuesday morning fire. It broke out in a shed behind a home in the 700 block of Ross Avenue just after 1 a.m. When firefighters arrived on scene, smoke and flames could be seen coming from the shed. They were able to quickly get the fire under control. Paramedics assessed the man at the scene and transported him to hospital. He's said to be in an unstable condition. The fire appears to have been accidental. A tax is coming off your grocery bill on July the 1st. The 2026 provincial budget eliminates the PST on all groceries. It's a move the province says will save Manitobans $32 million a year. CTV's Jeff Keel breaks down the big budget announcements and examines where Manitobans could see an impact.
Canoe government's 2026 budget is promising to help Manitobans out at the grocery till.
Manitoba is leading the way when it comes to tackling rising grocery costs.
On affordability, the province will remove the PST from all grocery items on July 1st, saving shoppers $32 million a year. The school property tax rebate will go up by $100 to $1,700, but new this year, it will be reduced on homes worth more than $1 million and eliminated for all homes over $1.5 million. The renter's tax credit is going up by $50, and the province will spend $10 million to make transit free for K-12 students. The province says the PST cut on groceries will save people money on things like rotisserie chickens, sandwiches, and snack food.
These are the things they're buying when they go to the grocery store. Like I mentioned earlier, you're getting ready for a birthday party, you got to buy those cans of pop and the chips.
Anything that brings those grocery bills down is a net positive for those Manitoba families.
But the opposition believes it won't make a difference.
Largely, groceries are exempt from paying PST already. These are real measures to make life affordable.
The budget also has $22 million for a new cardiac center at St. B, more than $13 million for a mental health zone beside HSC's ER, 32 beds at Siloam Mission to take pressure off hospitals, free daycare for 3,500 low-income families, and a pledge to have fresher and healthier foods at personal care homes.
I think my physician colleagues across Manitoba are going to be really happy to see continued investments in healthcare.
Coming off the worst wildfire season in recent memory, there is $75 million for a new fire base near Thompson. Design work will begin this year for the Carberry Overpass and twinning Highway 1 to the Ontario border. There is a $10 million fund to attract investment for the Churchill Corridor and a promise of 12 new police officers. But there was a glaring budget omission: funding for Phase 3 of Winnipeg's most expensive project.
I was disappointed to not hear anything in the speech about the North End plant. That is a shovel-ready project.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
We also learned the province plans to launch an inquiry into the former PC government's efforts to get an environmental license for a CO silica project in 2023. The budget says the province is projecting a deficit of $498 million for the upcoming fiscal year. That's down from the current $1.6 billion number. The province says they are sticking to the pledge of balancing the books by 2027-28. Thompson General Hospital is making some changes to improve security. Starting today, patients and the public will use a centralized entry point to access the hospital. A security checkpoint has been set up at the main entrance where a verbal screening will take place, and items may be searched or can be placed in an amnesty locker. Those requiring emergency care will be expedited. The changes don't apply to staff or first responders. In November, the hospital was grey-listed by the Manitoba Nurses Union over unsafe working conditions. The remains of a First World War soldier who died in France have been identified as a man from Manitoba. The Department of Defense says the remains are those of Private Albert Henry Detmold, who was born in Hamburg, Germany in 1884 before immigrating to a homestead near Roblin at 18 years old. Detmold enlisted with the 107th Overseas Battalion in Winnipeg in 1916. Several artifacts were found with him, including his pickaxe, gas mask, coins, pocket knife, and boots. He was reportedly killed on the first day of the Battle of Hill 70 in August of 1917 at the age of 33. His remains were discovered in 2020.
There's about 1,300 Canadians that are missing from that specific battle. So without an artifact to tell us which unit that they're a part of, you know, the list of candidates starts at 1,300, which is quite large.
The unit identifier found with the remains helped narrow that down. A DNA analysis then provided a final identification. In July, Private Detmold will be buried in France alongside other members of his unit. Here's a look at traffic now along McPhillip Street. It looks like things are pretty smooth over here, but we do have a traffic alert to tell you about. All southbound lanes on Henderson Highway are closed between Johnson to Hespeler due to a fire. Use Noble for rerouting. Only one lane is open in the northbound direction, and expect significant delays and use alternate routes if you can. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text.
Oil dropping early today amid media speculation that the United States reportedly sent a 15-point plan to end the war with Iran. The New York Times reporting that it has not seen a copy of the plan. However, officials speaking on condition of anonymity shared some of the broad outlines, telling the NYT that the proposal addresses Iran's ballistic missile and nuclear programs. Gold extended gains after snapping a 9-day losing streak after the U.S. floated the proposal. Sell-offs in global stocks and bonds have also forced investors to ditch their positions in gold to raise cash, further amplifying losses in gold. OpenAI plans to discontinue its Sora AI video generator 6 months after the high-profile launch of the standalone app for the service, as the company works to simplify its portfolio of artificial intelligence products. SSR Mining is confirming it has a $1.5 billion cash deal to buy 80% of the Koppler mine and related properties in Turkey from Cengiz. The transaction is expected to close in the third quarter. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go back now to the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada, where our Ainsley McPhail is live this morning. If you're looking for something fun to do with the kids, that's the place to go. Good morning.
Well, you need something that's going to kill 2 hours.
Yes.
I'm sure there's a lot of parents at home going, oh no, the 28th? That is soon. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the kids. And nothing better than this place, honestly. It's like you're in the hangar. Is that the right verbiage? Okay, well, I'm doing my best here. And interactive displays. This is good if they like astronomy too. The reason I say that is because it's going to be space themed. So there's going to be various activities surrounding that. We're going to be meeting the new CEO coming up in the 7 o'clock hour as well. They also have some stuff going on for May the 4th. So if you're into that type of nerdy stuff too, there's something for everyone.
Sounds like it. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Oh yes, it's not pleasant right now.
I know, and I was like, oh, I'm going to keep my hair dry, and I did that without a mirror and realized that the hair is all sticking out everywhere. Aww. Anyway, whatever. I'm going to get a little bit wet out here this morning, so we'll do this up quickly. The snow has started. Big fat flakes. Well, not fat flakes. We'll call these medium-sized flakes, if you will. But a pretty steady fall of snow is happening out here right now. -5. We dropped again, so yeah, it does look like it's going to get a little bit cooler than the -4 where I predicted we'd kind of hold steady. North-northeast winds, 31 kilometers per hour, so they've certainly increased as well. I happen to be sheltered from the north wind, though, so winds don't seem like too much of a factor, but a 30K wind, you'll notice that if you're in the direct path of those winds without the shelter of a building. The pressure falling and the humidity is sitting at 94%. So Yeah, things are going to be looking a little bit like winter through central and southern Manitoba. Winnipeg and much of the southeast isn't really expecting a massive amount of snow, a couple of centimeters possibly. Where the snow will really be piling up is west central Manitoba and across that border parts of east central Saskatchewan, right around Riding Mountain National Park and around there. Could get about 15 centimeters of snow, and I know nobody wants to hear that this late. I mean, we've got April just around the corner now, so massive amounts of snow, but I mean, it's Manitoba. We know that this happens. Northern Manitoba is going to be a clear one for you, but a cold one once again.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
It's time now for our question of the day. Today is International Waffle Day. So we want to know, do you like waffles for breakfast? And what's your recipe? Do you like it with fruits, maple syrup, or what else? Share it with us. You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want to see more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with more news and some entertainment too. A 38-year-old man is charged in connection to a road rage incident on a Manitoba highway. It happened Friday night in the RM of West St. Paul. RCMP say a 35-year-old man was driving on the highway near Grassmere Road when a man in another car pointed a handgun at him after a road rage incident. Officers later found the suspect vehicle at a nearby home. The alleged driver was arrested. Police obtained a search warrant and found a CO2-powered air pistol and 2 long guns. The suspect faces a number of firearm-related offenses. He was released with conditions and will appear in a Winnipeg courtroom in April. A bowl of soup is helping feed Manitoba students.
I'll take 4 minutes.
People in downtown Winnipeg got the chance to sample some soups Tuesday as the Child Nutrition Council of Manitoba launched its 14th annual Stone Soup fundraiser. Over the next week, more than 40 restaurants around the province are offering a signature soup for sale. $1 from each bowl will help support food programs in Manitoba schools.
Our event today is Stone Soup, which really is about the folktale Stone Soup, which we really see the value of community coming together. You know, we can achieve more when we work together, and that's really what school food programs are all about.
The Child Nutrition Council currently partners with more than 400 schools, supporting 80,000 students across Manitoba every day. In addition to providing healthy meals, the council also helps students create healthy eating habits and improves their food literacy. You can find a list of restaurants participating in the Stone Soup fundraiser on the Child Nutrition Council's website. A number of new species has been discovered in Cambodian caves, including the world's longest snake. Researchers also found a turquoise pit viper, a flying snake, several geckos, micro snails, and millipedes. The species were found in Cambodia's largely unexplored limestone caves, which stretch for thousands of kilometers. The research team would spend hours looking around every crevice in and around the caves, and they say there is more to discover. That's so cool. All right, here's a look at what's happening now in Kenaston and Sterling Lion Way. It looks like things are moving smoothly in this part of the city. If you see any other issues out there, please give us a heads up.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
The Fungi Film Festival arrives in Winnipeg this weekend. Billed as the only film festival of its kind, it features several short films all about, you guessed it, fungi, lichen, and mushrooms. You can expect to see documentaries, animated shorts, and experimental films from countries including Venezuela, Canada, Norway, and Italy. The Park Theatre is hosting a screening of the Fungi Film Festival this Sunday. Just head to myparktheatre.com for details and tickets. A pop singer-songwriter will join a Canadian pop rock artist as co-headliners of this year's Super Spike. Fifi Dobson and Tyler Shaw will headline the Saturday evening concert. Dobson is best known for her hits Stuttering, Ghost, and Take Me Away. Shaw has numerous Juno Award nominations, top 10 charting singles, and movie and TV credits to his name. Super Spike will also welcome Manitoba acts, including Always Dale, Zach Riley, and the Dust Rhinos throughout the weekend. Weekend passes for the charitable tournament are on sale through superspike.ca. It's Not Confidential, a film about the career of Canadian rock icon Carol Pope, is set to open the Hot Docs Festival.
It's like a high school confidential.
Called Anti-Diva, the Carol Pope Confessions, the film, according to the festival, will spotlight the singer-songwriter as she reclaims her place in music history. Known for being one of the leaders of the new wave group, Rough Trade, Pope pushed radio boundaries with the 1981 hit High School Confidential, which featured queer themes. The Hot Docs Festival will run from April 23rd to May the 3rd. Coming up tonight on your primetime lineup, The Masked Singer kicks things off at 7, Fear Factor House of Fears on at 8, Shark Tank comes next at 9, and Scrubs winds things up at 10 o'clock. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Primetime Lineup is brought to you by the Children's Rehabilitation Foundation.
Well, Terry, we're going to see some snow today.
Yeah, it's coming down now and at a pace that surprised me from where it was 20 minutes ago. Now, definitely we would call this snow. Looking out through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. So there is the possibility that this snow might affect your visibility. It could affect the traction out on the streets or on the sidewalks. So just keep that in mind. Plan accordingly for your drive this morning. The snow will be a whole lot heavier, though, through parts of west central Manitoba. While it's just, a light but steady snow here in the southeast, far more activity is expected through west central Manitoba. That'll probably be affecting travel on the 16 highway and the highways surrounding area, maybe number 10, but you know the area, Riding Mountain National Park. That's the place that, we'll always see maybe excessive snow in that area just because of the elevation and whatnot. But many of us are still with these very mild temperatures compared to what is normal. A normal low would be about -8, so we are still above that, though we've been steadily watching that temperature drop off over the course of the morning. Brandon a little bit cooler at -10, moving into the central parts of the province, and you can see you're into the mid to high -teens, and further that you go into the north, this is where it's so very cold, pushing into the -20s and then into the -30s. And all of that is before we're even factoring in the winds. -40 wind chill values up in the most northern part of the province, so make sure that you are bundled up. It is going to be incredibly cold. Yes, west central Manitoba, this will be the hardest hit area, but many of us here throughout the south will be seeing that snow off and on throughout the day today. Temperatures maybe around -5. That's where we're sitting right now. That's where we've dropped to, but we still could drop another couple of degrees over the course of the day. So we were at -1 and fell steadily. Tomorrow will be a little bit colder, but a whole lot clearer, and eventually warming up. We'll get those more seasonal temperatures for the weekend. Look at this. What a stunning photo that Paul captured out in the Riding Mountain National Park area. This little guy is going to be battling the snow, or girl. I think it's a dude, right? Men are the more colorful birds. Anyway, it's a spruce grouse, if you didn't know. And thanks to Paul for sharing this. Keep the photos coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
March 25th, 1905. Britain and the United States established the Canada-Alaska boundary. U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt told the British government the boundary must be set his way or troops would be sent to enforce it. Canada was left out of the talks and ended up with no seaports in northern BC or the Yukon. March 25th, 1998. Lawyer Alan Eagleson resigned from the Hockey Hall of Fame nearly 2 months after pleading guilty to fraud and being sentenced to prison. Key former NHL players to be negatively impacted by Eagleson's actions included Bobby Orr, Paul Henderson, and Darryl Sittler. March 25th, 2023. Migrants arriving at Roxham Road in Quebec started to face arrest if they tried to enter Canada illegally. As part of a deal worked out during U.S. President Joe Biden's trip to Canada, the Safe Third Country Agreement now applied along the entire border. Cognitive changes happen after a woman gives birth. It's called mom brain. Maddie Gaither explains.
It can be both the best and hardest time of your life. Becoming a parent means more responsibility and less sleep. It can take time for your brain to adjust.
Mom brain has gotten a bad rap over the years.
Dr. Tamar Gore with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center says mom brain can happen when there's a major transition becoming a parent, where you're juggling lots of new challenges like time management, mental fog, reduced focus, forgetfulness, and staying socially connected, all while functioning through severe sleep deprivation and hormonal shifts. Gore says during this time, the brain is changing.
It's actually just a really intentional growth in certain parts of your brain and a restructuring. And so just like when your house gets renovated, you have to put up with some dust and bother, but it's for long-term good.
Getting through mom brain struggles in the short term starts with recognizing what's happening, reframing your mindset, knowing that when you forget something or can't focus, there's a reason why, and it's okay. Next, take care of you.
You can't pour from an empty cup. And so it's really important that you're keeping your batteries filled as best you can.
Gore says that means prioritizing sleep when it's possible, eating healthy, exercising, showering and getting dressed every day, and going outside for fresh air and sunlight.
It's really just one part of what makes women Wonder Women and really makes them take on a lot of new tasks in their lives.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Looking for inspiration on your home projects? Your Morning Winnipeg has a contest that could help. The Winnipeg Home and Garden Show runs April 9th to the 12th at the RBC Convention Center, and we have a few prizes to give away. One grand prize winner will walk away with a $1,000 gift card, 4 tickets to the show with VIP seating, and a meet and greet with Brian Baumler. There's also 2 prizes of $500 gift cards with tickets to be won. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and don't forget to enter the keyword garden. Good luck. Coming up, we're live at the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada, and they have all kinds of fun activities for you and the kids during spring break. Stay with us for more. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada. They have a lot of hands-on activities for you and the kids to enjoy. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. So many hands-on activities, and I was going to say I'll take you to space, but you'd be saying, what the heck are you talking about? We're flying high, but in a different way. Talia's joining us now to explain. Why did you want to go that realm?
Well, we're super interested in space because upcoming soon is the Artemis II launch, which has the first Canadian, Jeremy Hansen, who's going to the moon.
And I understand there's a Hansen connection here as well.
There is. We're going to look at that in a second, but he was here at the museum about 2 years ago, which was a phenomenal experience, and he left a bit of a mark here as well.
When I looked him up, too, I said, I can't believe he's so tall. I thought you're supposed to be shorter when you're going to space, but not a scientific mind over here. Okay, hands-on activities. What are we looking at?
Right now we're looking at one of the many interactive hands-on activities for kids. This is our rock box. So it's an opportunity for kids to literally touch and feel. Parents who want their kids to come here, if I can get my hands in here.
I'm laughing because of the height too. I'm having to bend down for children.
But it's one of the many opportunities for kids to actually touch, feel, and interact with a lot of textures and sights and sounds, ways for hands-on learning to be really real and functional here. Which is our goal.
Well, and yeah, that's the whole idea. You want them to get interested in math and science.
Absolutely, yeah. That's one of our big goals here. We want kids to be inspired, and where else are they going to get an opportunity like this to learn about something they might be interested in pursuing?
What's this one supposed to be?
That's a tiny moon.
I'm like, see, I was that kid that is like, a ball? Okay. That wasn't a question. Before we're out of time, what else is going on in terms of the hands-on activations?
Yeah, we'll have a bunch of different activities. We've got like moon mapping. We've got DIY spacecraft that kids can make out of recyclables. We've got that cool rover that James was working upstairs. A whole bunch of other stuff that kids are going to love, and parents too.
That's great. Well, yeah. I already broke it again. It kicks off on the 28th.
Okay.
Okay, now my hand is actually stuck. Back to you.
Let the rock go. Okay, thank you.
That reminds me of the kid that puts their hand in the cookie jar with that handful of cookies and can't get them out, right?
Like you just got to eat them all.
You're gonna have to let go of a couple. You gotta give something up to get your hand back. All right, -4. That's where we're. Oh, -6. Thank you for the update. Oh, Joan is in our graphics department and on top of things. All right, so it's even colder now than it was earlier this morning, having dropped to -6, feeling like -13. Those winds, look at them. They've increased big time out of the north-northeast, gusting to 37 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 93%. I love my team. They're so on top of things. They got my back all the time. Thank you. All right, here's a look at the satellite image, and you can see all through southern Manitoba the activity showing up here on the satellite image. The bulk of the activity will be through west central Manitoba. That's where Environment Canada has issued the snowfall warnings. 15 to maybe 20 centimeters of snow possibly for you. We're not expecting as much, but a couple of centimeters of accumulation is very possible here in the southeast. And I was expecting us to drop off to about -4, but we've gone well below, well, not well below that, but we're at -6 already and could still drop another degree or two throughout the day today. So it will continuously be cooling down with the periods of snow off and on, and those winds even stronger than we anticipated. So they're going to be a little bit gusty as well. A 30K wind is expected, though, through the overnight hours as we continue to drop off down to -12. Flurries continuing but tapering off before morning. The sky clearing throughout the day tomorrow, but it will remain a little bit cool. -7 expected with the sunshine returning. It'll take some time, but we'll get back up to those more seasonal temperatures by the time we're wrapping up the weekend, plus digits off and on throughout the start of next week.
Amaranth, RCMP are seeking the public's help in the search for a missing 13-year-old female. On March 24th, RCMP received a report that Cleo Ra Roulette had gone missing. Roulette was last seen at her residence in Langruth, about 155 kilometers northwest of Winnipeg, Tuesday morning at about 4:30 a.m. RCMP believe she may be in Portage la Prairie or at Ebb and Flow First Nation. They are concerned for her well-being. Roulette is described as 4 feet 10 inches tall, with straight brown hair, brown eyes. She has braces, a slim build, and wears fake eyelashes. RCMP said it is unknown what she was last wearing. Anyone with information as to the whereabouts of Cleo Ra Roulette is asked to call Amaranth RCMP at 204-843-2691 or Crime Stoppers. There's plenty of reaction to the new Manitoba budget pouring in from stakeholders throughout the province. Business leaders we spoke with say the budget doesn't do a lot to address challenges its members are facing when it comes to cost pressures, labor shortages, and trade uncertainty.
There's things like payroll taxes that still exist in Manitoba. They made an adjustment to it last year. This year would have been nice to see a further adjustment to that. We didn't see that in the budget. Any kind of other programs that are going to be able to help to recognize the challenges that the businesses have right now with trying to reduce their reliance on the U.S., enter into new markets. More in regards to that would have been helpful as well.
Meantime, the head of the Social Planning Council of Winnipeg says the budget could have gone further to support low-income Manitobans. Kate Kaler says those folks would benefit more from a PST rebate check instead of a tax relief at the checkout.
We saw that when they did the gas tax holiday through Campaign 2000 analysis. We actually demonstrated that had they continued to collect the gas tax but distributed that money to low-income families, 62% of families could have been raised above the poverty line.
We also spoke to municipal leaders from different parts of the province.
So for the residents of Brandon, more work going on at the hospital. Healthcare is always a big issue. And, I might have liked to have seen a tiny bit more with the university or the college, but there may be some in the weeds as I'll pull those out. So
we're already doing 400 knee and hip surgeries a year at our Selkirk Regional Health Center. So now to get a 50% more, another 200 knee and hip surgeries, that's going to clear up a lot of the backlog.
Well, actually, it's a good budget for us in the north. I mean, it goes to show the province's commitment in terms of steps to develop a province.
Churchill Mayor Mike Spence says the $10 million to attract the private sector to the north is especially encouraging. Air Canada's CEO has been summoned to Ottawa after backlash over his video message about the tragic crash at LaGuardia.
Hello, bonjour.
Michael Russo has been asked to explain why he spoke only English when he offered condolences to the victims yesterday. The crash killed both pilots, one of whom was from Quebec. In the address, there were only 2 words in French. The Official Languages Committee is strongly condemning the statement for not being bilingual and has voted unanimously to summon Rousseau to Ottawa by May the 1st. A jury in New Mexico has found Meta liable for harming children's mental health.
So, on question 1, did Meta violate the Unfair Practices Act by engaging in an unfair or deceptive trade practice? The jury answers yes.
During the 7-week trial, prosecutors argued Meta prioritized profits over the safety of its young users. The jury found Meta violated the state law by hiding what it knew about child sexual exploitation on its platforms. As a result, Meta has been ordered to pay a $375 million U.S. penalty. Meta, which is the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and other popular apps, is planning to appeal. The company is facing lawsuits in more than 40 states, claiming its platforms are designed to be addictive. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. All northbound lanes on Banning Street will be closed between Sargent and Ellis Avenue. Following the rush, the southbound curb lane on Pembina Highway will be closed from McGillivray to Waller Avenue. And all westbound lanes on Bannatyne Avenue will be closed from Waterfront Drive to Rory Street. If you have any other traffic tips, please give us an update via text. And we also have a traffic note to tell you about. This morning on Henderson Highway, all southbound lanes were closed due to a fire. All northbound and southbound lanes are now open to traffic. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.73. The provincial average is $1.69. The average in Winnipeg is $1.70. And the lowest price in the city is $1.52. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
All right, -6 is where the temperature currently sits, having fallen several degrees over the course of the morning. It does feel more like -13 if you're factoring in that north-northeast wind that is now gusting to 37 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling, humidity at 93%, and the snow has increased. It's pretty steady now. It is still like fine snowflakes, but fairly steady, whereas the most activity is actually expected here through west central Manitoba. That's the area of the province that is under the snowfall warning, parts of east central Saskatchewan and into west central Manitoba, right around the Riding Mountain National Park area. 15 to 20 centimeters of snow is possible for you. Now, the further that you go into the north, it's just going to be clear and bright and cold. You've been dealing with the chill the past couple of days, and today no exception. A high of just -22 up around the Churchill area. And yes, other places won't be quite as cold, but still, compared to what you would expect this time of year, several degrees off the mark of those numbers. Now, furthest in the north is where it's clearest, but parts of northwestern Manitoba will likely deal with some heavier clouds, the slightly below seasonal temperatures, and then the further south that you go through that more central band and right into the south. That's where the snow will be falling today. Heaviest, yes, in that west central area, but other places are still very likely to deal with that snow off and on throughout the day today. Some places that are a little bit milder right along this very southern border could be seeing more of a rain-snow mix. We've only fallen considerably from -1 where we were earlier this morning, so those will always indicate the highest temperatures, but we've only gotten colder since then. Northwestern Ontario also expecting to see some of that precipitation, and that'll continue throughout the day. Even into the overnight hour, the snow will likely continue, but clearing out for tomorrow. Colder temperatures expected, though. Slowly we'll be rising back up to the freezing mark or above, and it does look like we'll see those milder temperatures continuing through the start of next week.
Terry, let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail's live at the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada, getting ready for Easter. Good morning, little bunny.
Oh, thank you. I'm having so much fun. And this is Hobbs. I haven't even met Hobbs yet. Hobbs, tell me something about your personal life. Good morning. Talia's with me for another segment. You guys have some fun activities planned for Easter.
We sure do. It's back again. It's our annual Easter scavenger hunt at the museum on April 4th. It's running from 10 to 5, but we do have a couple different time slots that are pre-registration through our website only, so get on that quick before they sell out.
Who's this for? I'm just picturing the littles running around looking for an egg, and it's adorable.
It's adorable, yeah. It's for all families, but we're specifically targeting towards ages 2 to 13. We have extra offerings for our extra little bunnies this year. We have Little Bunny Bingo, which is an easier version of our scavenger hunt for the littles coming. And then our classic scavenger hunt around the museum with riddles, and then a couple other extra games and activities.
Mm-hmm. It's already a fun place to be. Oh. Cameraman Kenny, I'm so sorry. We're breaking the third wall here. He's going like this. I'm like, are we off the air? But no. Hobbs, wave to Cameraman Kenny in our audience. Thank you. Okay. What a fun morning. Okay, where was I? Totally lost my train of thought. Okay, it's already a fun place to be here at the Royal Aviation Museum. And this kind of adds to it, just adding the layers, whether you do May the 4th or whether you turn it into a spaceship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of fun things coming this spring into the summer, including May 4th. Thank you for remembering that, yeah. Easter as well is going to be super fun. It's the tail end of our spring break programming, which runs from March 28th to April 3rd. So we hope to see a whole bunch of families sticking around all week, right till the end for Easter. And Hobbs will be here all Easter to meet with the families.
How disrespectful of me to totally forget about Hobbs. When it comes to dates and times and websites and all that, would you mind just kind of wrapping it up for us?
Absolutely. So spring break's going to run from 10:30 to 4:30, March 28th to April 3rd. And then Easter's going to run from 10 to 5, but there's several different time slots. So make sure you go to royalaviationmuseum.com and get your tickets today.
Talia, thank you so much. Hobbs, always a pleasure. I'm so sorry. Sometimes I forget that we're broadcasting, that's what we're doing, and I kind of just treat it like, hey, Kenny, what are you talking about? But thank you, Hobbs. Back to you.
Thank you, Ainsley. LED headlights are being thrust into the national spotlight as some BC cities rally for clear regulations on their use. The new technology helps drivers see better, but some say the intensity is blinding on the road. CTV's Brendan Strain reports.
If you've been blinded by newer LED headlights in oncoming traffic, you're not alone.
There are many people writing to me in my column about the issue.
Retired police officer and now the Times columnist, road safety columnist, says the ability for industry to manufacture powerful headlights has outpaced the government's ability to regulate them properly.
We used to have headlights that operated in a range of about 1 to 2,000 lumens. These modern headlights operate in a range of 3 to 4,000 lumens, which is way brighter.
On top of that, older style bulbs used to be of an amber color. The trend now is more of a blue tinge, which Ducker says is harder on the eyes of oncoming drivers.
And this is especially a problem when there's lots of road glare in the rain and sometimes in the fog.
I think it's one of those things that a lot of people have experienced. I've experienced it, certainly.
In February, Victoria City Councillor Dave Thompson put forth a motion requesting the mayor pen a letter to both the federal and provincial government, encouraging them to undertake a comprehensive review of recent motor vehicle design trends.
That they basically take as seriously the lives of people outside of motor vehicles as we're taking seriously inside.
In January, that motion passed.
I was really glad to see that it got unanimous support at Victoria City Council. The letter should be going out any day now.
Last month, Vancouver Council voted unanimously to a motion that directs the federal government to create clear, enforceable limits on headlight brightness.
I think the federal government is going to have to act on this.
And it appears it is beginning to. Transport Canada has released an online survey asking road users how headlight glare affects them, as well as how vehicle or lighting features may influence how people experience night driving. It's a measure that Ducker is encouraged by.
Because I feel that there's going to be some serious incidents coming up, which is going to result in some big-time lawsuits, and then people are really going to start paying attention to what a problem this actually is.
Brendan Strain, CTV News, Saanich.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 6th birthday, Cohen. Love your mom and sisters, Riel, Via, and Kendon. Happy birthday, Baba Kathy and Papa Andy. Love Bodie, Charlotte, Lincoln, and Emily. Happy 15th birthday, Haley. Love mom, dad, Noah, Burke, Hayes, and your grandparents. Happy birthday, Penelope from Uncle Rick. Happy 18th birthday, Rihanna. Love from your dad and mom and from your brothers Marlon and Russell. And best wishes for a happy 90th birthday to Jean. Love from your family and friends. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
All right, 1 degree was our warmest temperature. Now, that happened just after midnight tonight. We are no longer there. We've fallen considerably since then, but that would have been as close to seasonal as we were going to get today, 3 degrees being normal for this time of year. Last year, 8.6 degrees, so obviously much warmer than today, but 14.4 is the record. Not bad. We're not going to be anywhere near those. In fact, we've only cooled throughout the day and will continue to cool off. I brought the umbrella out because the last time I was out here, the rain was falling at such a pace and I was trying to keep the hair dry with my scarf wrapped around my head. The snow has tapered considerably. Don't get me wrong, it is still very much snowing, but just not quite at the pace that it was. I don't feel like I'm going to get as soaked unless I stand out here and ramble for too long. Director Kim will prevent me from doing that. -6, that's where we're sitting right now. 37K winds out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising. It's not. It's falling right now with the humidity at 93%. So the snow is also falling and will continue off and on through central and southern Manitoba, with west central Manitoba likely to be the hardest hit area. That's where the snowfall warnings have been issued by Environment Canada. Warning of 15 to 20 centimeters as it continues through the day today and maybe overnight into Thursday morning. Here in the south, we should be done with the snow by tomorrow morning. It's northern Manitoba who still, I feel, has the worst of it. I mean, snow might not be ideal this time of year, but nor is -30 temperatures and wind chill values of -40, and that's what northern Manitoba is dealing with, though the sky is clear and the sun is shining.
Thanks, Terry. Manitoba has the highest rates of measles infections than anywhere else in the country. As we near spring break vacation and Easter gatherings, health officials are warning families and parents about the potential of super spreader measles events coming up. Joining us now to tell us more is the medical officer of health for Southern Health, Santé Sud, Dr. Devinder Singh. Good morning, Dr. Singh.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, what's the latest numbers that we have so far in terms of cases of measles here in Manitoba?
So far, for this entire outbreak, since it started in February of last year, we've had 712 cases overall, and that's up to March the 14th.
Okay.
And to put that into perspective, you know, in the 25 years before the outbreak, we had 18 cases in total in those 25 years. Wow. And in any given week, we have more than that at the moment.
Let's talk about measles, why it is so dangerous, even deadly in some cases.
Yeah, so we've been very fortunate in Manitoba. No one has died here. However, you know, we know that people, you know, 1 infant died in Ontario, 1 infant died in Alberta, and people have died in other jurisdictions like the US. So, you know, measles can be extremely serious because it can cause very severe complications like pneumonia, swelling of the brain, which is called encephalitis, and, you know, even up to years later, it can cause complications with your immune system, or, you know, even be fatal, you know, a number of years later with something called SSPE. So, you know, it can be extremely serious, although fortunately, you know, most people, you know, don't have these types of complications and do recover.
So there have been overall about how many hospitalizations and how severe are they?
So in this outbreak, there have been 34 hospitalizations. 4 of those people have had to go to the intensive care unit. And so for anyone familiar with, you know, the level of illness or, you know, our healthcare system, you have to be exceptionally sick to need to go to the intensive care unit. And almost everybody who has been hospitalized, all but 1, have either been unimmunized or an unknown immunization status.
So the shocking number that you talked about earlier, 18 cases in 25 years, and now we're seeing 712 total from March 14th, or as of March 14th. Why do you think we're seeing so many now?
Well, it was just a kind of a matter of time because of decreasing immunization rates for a number of years. You know, even prior to the pandemic, numbers had been going down in some regions more than than others, and with the lowest rates in Southern Health Santé Sud, as well as some other rural communities in other regions. We've been fortunate in Winnipeg that most people, you know, still the vast majority of people do choose to immunize themselves and their kids, and that's why we're not seeing breakthrough into Winnipeg. You know, we see exposures in Winnipeg, but we don't see it really take off and spread. But we have seen it take hold and have community transmission in communities where there have been very low immunization rates.
Okay, so in Brandon, for example, Manitoba Ag Days, many people got infected from that.
Yes.
We are heading into spring break. We're also going to see Easter. Families are gathering. During spring break, there's also the Manitoba Winter Fair, also in Brandon. What do you want people to know?
Well, it's relatively straightforward. We've known the answer for this for a long time. You know, it's very clear the only way to really protect yourself is to get immunized. One dose of vaccine is about 93% effective, which means 93 out of 100 people, if they had one dose of vaccine and they were exposed, would likely not get infected. And 2 doses is even better. So it develops a response in half the people that don't respond to the first dose. So bringing that total up to 97 out of 100. So immunization is really the only way to protect yourself. So for individuals, families, you can check your immunization record, see if you've been immunized. If you haven't, go out there and get immunized. Even if you get immunized on the same day you're going on a trip or to an event or something like that, there's a very high chance it could protect you from an exposure even that day. So, you know, it's not too late.
Just get it done.
Just get immunized.
Okay. Well, thank you, Doctor, for sharing this with us. And of course, if you want more information, we have a link on our website.
I run Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday in Fort. We head to Beantown with the Maple Leafs visiting the Bruins. Second period, the Leafs shorthanded, and it's Matthew Nyes winning the a battle for the puck, kicks it up to a stick before beating Jeremy Swayman for the goal. A fantastic play by Nyes to overpower Mason Lowride for the puck, and then goes in and beats Swayman high blocker side for his shorthanded goal. That is your must-see moment from Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have action from the NBA. The Lakers taking on the Pacers. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Wednesday, March 25th, a break at the checkout. The new Manitoba budget promises lower grocery bills. How much will it cost the province to remove sales tax on some food items? A twist in the contract saga for Canada's postal workers. Why some among the union's leadership are now saying the company's offer should be rejected. And this stuff really matters, unless it's actually antimatter, which is still a pretty big deal after all for nuclear researchers at this high-level Swiss laboratory. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Wednesday. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. At 8:15, we're going to get some reaction to yesterday's budget announcements and some of the funding announcements that were made there as well. And then at 8:45, Rainbow Stage is getting ready for its 2026 season.
Fun.
It's going to be fun. And we're going to tell you about these auditions that are happening right now that are really, I want to say something fun with it, like Pothorific or something like that. So we're going to tell you more about that. But let's talk about the weather. It's cold and snowy this morning.
Yeah, there's, I mean, around the province it's going to feel or look like winter, depending where you are. It's going to feel more like winter across northern Manitoba. It's going to look more like winter here across southern Manitoba. That pretty pinkish sky, maybe that's just my monitor, it's actually looking pretty gray out there this morning with the snow falling. -6 is where we're sitting. We watched that temperature drop over the course of the morning. It feels more like -13 with that wind factored in out of the north-northeast, the breeze gusting to 37 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 93%. Been watching the snow falling off and on over the course of the morning on the lighter side, but still, it's been fairly steady, light, steady snow. Here through West Central Manitoba, that's where things are going to likely be the most active, and that's where Environment Canada has issued those snowfall warnings. 15 to 20 centimeters expected in those areas, so that's likely where things will be the nastiest as far as the snowfall amounts go, but nasty as far as temperatures go, well, that's northern Manitoba winning that game. You've been dealing with the cold over the past several days now, and it just continues. You're waking up to wind chill values in the -40s and actual temperatures in the mid-30s across the north. Clear, yes. sunny, beautiful looking, but unless you're properly bundled, and even then, it still feels pretty. It's almost April. These kind of temperatures, they'd be indicative of January. For us, it's the snow through central and southern Manitoba, and that'll continue off and on throughout the day today, maybe even right into tomorrow morning before it eventually clears out. We'll get that sunshine back, but as the sunshine returns, even colder temperatures are expected. Today, we've been watching that temperature fall over the course of the day, and tomorrow it won't be rising much. -7 are expected high, but slowly and steadily getting back up to those more seasonal numbers as we're looking ahead to the coming weekend. So thank you, Jack, for our snowman. Very fitting of today's weather, and we'd love to see more of your art. Draw that picture and go to our website now in order to send it to us. ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. There's a form there to fill out, and you'll not only get your art shown here on the TV if it's selected, but you'll be entered to win that $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Keniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
The province is slashing the provincial sales tax from prepared food and drinks as part of a new affordability measures in its latest budget, which came down yesterday. As of July the 1st, items such as rotisserie chickens, sandwiches, and bottled drinks will no longer be subject to the PST. However, while tax-free grocery sounds good, basic staple items such as milk, bread, produce, and eggs are already tax exempt in the province. So consumers will still have to deal with food inflation. And given the war in the Middle East and the rising cost of oil, we're likely going to continue to see increased food costs. The province says this budgetary change will cost the government over $32 million a year. Meantime, Premier Wab Kinew explained other ways the government plans to increase affordability here at home.
We're also going to be increasing the property tax credit to $1,700 this year. So when you got to pay your bills and your mortgage, this is going to put more money back in your pocket. It's going to mean that the middle class, the lower income folks are going to have a huge amount of affordability help. At the same time, if you're renting, we're increasing the renter's tax credit to $675 a year. And you're not going to have to wait to tax time to get that money back. We're going to be sending that money to you directly.
The budget says the province is projecting a deficit of $498 million for the upcoming fiscal year. That's down from the current $1.6 billion number. The province says they are sticking to the pledge of balancing the books by 2027-28. The head of the union representing 55,000 Canada Post employees is now asking workers to reject a tentative contract agreement. According to a newsletter published by the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, 60% of the National Executive Board is recommending workers vote in favor of the deal. But National President of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, Jan Simpson, and 4 other members of the union's leadership disagree. They argue the deal abandons most of what the union membership wanted to see in a contract. They say they will bargain for a better deal if this offer is rejected. Voting on the tentative deal is set to take place from April 20th to May 30th. There are reports this morning saying the U.S. has drafted a 15-point peace plan. The U.S. has given that plan to Pakistani officials to pass on to Iran. Reports say the Pentagon will deploy about 1,000 members of the Army's 82nd Airborne Division over the next several days. This morning, Iran launched more strikes in the Gulf region, including this attack in northern Iraq. As for how talks are going, Iran's military has responded to President Trump this morning, saying the U.S. is negotiating with itself. The U.S. president, on the other hand, says Iran wants a deal. Here's a look at traffic now along Donald Street. Things have really picked up in this part of the city, as you can see, but overall moving well. If you have any issues out there, please give us a heads up.
Traffic is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Spring break is already next week, and at the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada, there are things that kids can do that they think is fun, but also they're learning at the same time. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Yes, for all those space enthusiasts, they're flying high, but in a different way. Definitely encouraging folks to come down during spring break. Peter George is joining me. He is the CEO of the museum, and it's the first time that we're chatting here on this show. Peter, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been the CEO here since August of 2025, so what is that, about 8 months? Previous to that, I was working in marketing and advertising for about 30 years, and so I was brought on here to help with profile and help with branding and marketing and growing our audience and growing our reach into the community.
And that's so important, especially as it pertains to education, because you're going to have the little ones come in here, see the planes, and perhaps see themselves in it in the future.
Oh, absolutely. You know, these planes are great, and a big part of our mission is to preserve the heritage and restore these planes. Most of these planes have been restored in one way or other by our volunteers. But an even more important mission to me is the fact that they're actually here to inspire a younger generation of Winnipeggers and Manitobans to be interested in aviation, to be interested in aerospace, and possibly pursue careers in those fields. I know that with the federal government investment in aerospace and defense coming up in the next few years, we're going to have a labor shortage over the next 20 years. And we see ourselves, and our stakeholders see ourselves, as a real piece of the puzzle in terms of getting young people excited about the kind of careers they can have in aviation and aerospace.
And this is a perfect transition because you guys have educational bits as well with the schools.
Yeah, we do. We actually run a real school here. We've got certified Manitoba teachers. We teach science curriculum. It's a field trip for the schools that come here, and it's kind of exciting. You know, every morning at 10 o'clock when the bus pulls up out front, you can hear the kids screaming as they enter the museum. They're so excited. They sprint around the place, and we have to contain them and then settle them down and get them into class. And then we use every single one of the planes in this museum as a teaching tool, talking about lift, talking about thrust, talking about why giant machines made of metal can fly, and the young people really soak it up. And
we're out of time. I'm so sorry. Yes, I could talk all day too. This is awesome. Okay, back to you.
Thank you, Ainsley. Whether you're looking for full-time employment or part-time work, you have to watch out for job scams. They're rampant online, and while they may appear convincing, victims are losing their personal information and thousands of dollars. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
Many people like watching movies, so does Abe Reese of Aurora. That's why he was excited to get a text message asking if he wanted a job as a movie reviewer.
They got in touch with me through text messages. It's reviewing films and rating them.
Reese says for about a month he watched and reviewed films. He was told he would be paid, but he needed to put in some of his own money first. He did, but grew concerned and contacted police.
They told me it was all a scam.
Reese was scammed out of $2,000.
I felt sad. I felt like, what am I going to do now?
We also did a story with Greg Burgos. He saw a job advertisement on TikTok and was scammed out of $11,000.
This is money that I was saving. This is money that I need.
Davonshee Podar saw a job posting on Instagram. It was a fake, and she was scammed out of $15,000.
$15,000 is not a small amount. It was all my savings.
We hate to hear about all of these job scams targeting these innocent job seekers.
Indeed is the world's largest job search website. It says criminals are targeting job seekers to steal their information and money. Some signs of a job scam: you receive a job offer you never applied for. There's no in-person interview required. You're offered high pay for easy work. You need to send money to earn money. There are vague job descriptions and unprofessional communication. When someone is looking for work, fraudsters will tell them what they want to hear.
We're going to pay you extremely well. You're going to have flexible hours. You're going to have every benefit you could ever imagine. But we're not going to give you much information about the job. Those are all big red flags.
Reese was trying to find extra income to help his family. If you're looking for work, do your research, check legitimate job boards and company websites. Never pay in advance for expenses or training, or give out your banking information. Pat Foran, CTV News.
All right, we're looking through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Well, the job for your kids might be having them go out and shovel some snow. It's going to be stacking up today, especially in areas through west central Manitoba. Maybe it looks like the southwest is the area that's getting hammered right now, although that's more freezing rain. You can see all the brighter colors right along that very southern border. That's more freezing rain or mixed precipitation that you're seeing. The darker grayish white, that's straight up snow, and all of central and southern Manitoba will be dealing with that off and on throughout the day today. For the northern part of the province, it looks clear. It's incredibly cold. It has been for days, feeling like mid-January with where those temperatures are sitting throughout the north. Here in the south, I mean, this is just so very typical of a Manitoba spring to get the temperatures that fluctuate. They tease us a little bit. We think it's going to warm up, and then suddenly it looks like winter again. Well, today will be that winter-looking day. We've been dropping over the course of the day down to -6 now and dealing with a bit of a breeze out of the north at about 30 clicks. And yes, that snow will continue throughout the day, maybe even through the overnight hours as we drop down to -12. It should be clearing throughout the day tomorrow. Back to sunnier conditions. Not warmer, though. In fact, tomorrow could be even colder than today. -7 our expected high. The warm-up will come slowly and steadily after that, when for the weekend we're getting back up to pretty much what is normal for this time of year, 3 degrees being seasonal, but some heavier clouds into the start of next week could bring more precipitation. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Good morning. The province announced many affordability measures in its 2026 budget yesterday, including the elimination of the PST on all groceries, as well as offering free transit for school-age kids in Manitoba. Joining us now with more on the budget and what it all means is U of M Associate Professor in the Department of Economics and Labor Studies, Jesse Hacher. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, there were many parts to yesterday's budget announcement. Tell us which parts stood out the most to you.
Well, there was a number of new initiatives launched that I think were quite interesting. The ones that took the headlines were the reduction or the elimination of PST on some grocery items. The free transit for youth stuck out to me as something that was an interesting and good measure to address inequality. Overall, many things in the budget. Obviously, it's a plan for the entire provincial government for the upcoming year. But the government is trying to do that all within a constraint of trying to balance the budget.
And obviously, affordability is top of mind for Manitobans. Do you think yesterday's budget tackled this?
Well, it's interesting. So it's certainly aimed to make that the headline message. The PST cuts on groceries was aimed at that. The question is an extra $100 gonna make the difference? You know, some economists like myself have been pointing towards the large fiscal gap that the province faces. Tax cuts like that take revenue out of the government's budget that could be spent on more targeted initiatives that really get to those people who need help. Not everybody's struggling with the affordability crisis. We know that those who have higher incomes have made out better with the inflation because investments have gone up even more. So it really is a question, are we spending enough on the people who need the help the most? I think that question still remains to be answered.
Okay, now healthcare obviously is also a big concern for Manitobans. What are your thoughts on yesterday's budget announcements on this yesterday?
Right. The government is dealing with a huge challenge in healthcare. We saw some big changes by the previous government that led to some reductions in service and some cuts in areas, and that led to what some people have called a crisis in healthcare. We have this vicious cycle of understaffing and burnout. I've done some research in that area, and the message from workers is loud and clear. The progress is being made, but we still need investments in that area. So healthcare spending continues to go up. I think that's an important investment. Obviously, that's a core responsibility of our government. We need our healthcare system to work to keep us healthy, to get people back to work after they're injured. So that it is investing more dollars in healthcare.
Another part of the announcement was an investment for food at personal care homes. The province is labeling $5 million to be spent on healthier, fresher food for seniors. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think these broader initiatives that the government is doing around food, whether it's healthy food for seniors or nutrition programs in schools where you're providing free, healthy food across the board, these are really important initiatives for addressing inequality, for making sure we're taking preventive action when it comes to people being healthy, helping people stay out of poverty. So those are good investments. I think we do need to look at how we can make those things bigger. I mentioned free transit for youth. That's great. What about free transit for everyone? That's good for the environment. It's good for those who are living in poverty. Those type of programs, it's important to make sure we're investing in those. But we have to make sure we have the revenue to do that. And this budget, I think, doesn't take the same type of steps that we've seen in some of the previous budgets to make sure the revenue is there to fulfill those important needs.
So the province is saying it will manage to balance the books by the end of their term. Do you think this budget will help with that or make it worse?
Well, I think they're in a really tight spot. The economy is not doing great. They inherited this fiscal situation where the previous government really cut taxes deeply, and the government doesn't have the revenue it needs to spend on the programs that people want the government to spend money on. It'll be very challenging, I think, for the government to balance the budget without cutting expenditures if they're not willing to raise taxes. We did not see those type of tax increases in this budget. So I think it's a very hard thing to achieve, but they say they're going to do it. We'll have to see how they do it.
Okay, well, Jesse, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, the snow that has been falling off and on is having a bit more of an off moment, at least here in the downtown Winnipeg area. Doesn't mean that's the case throughout the rest of southern and central Manitoba. Some areas will be much harder hit, and we're still likely to see that activity picking up over the course of the morning. -6. That's where we've dropped to over the course of the morning. We actually started just after midnight this morning at +1, and it's been a slow, steady slide, and we still could lose another few degrees throughout the afternoon today. The heavier clouds, they're going to be sticking around. The snow, as I mentioned, will be off and on. The winds, right now, they're out of the north-northeast, gusting to 41 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling, humidity sitting at 93%. That wind is a little bit stronger than I was expecting it to be today, but increasing still yet through the overnight hours, and maybe tomorrow too. And tomorrow is likely to feel a little bit colder yet, even though the snow will taper off and the sky will clear. That should be happening into the evening, overnight hours, but throughout the day today, flurries will be falling. Hardest or most amount will be through west central Manitoba. That's where Environment Canada has issued the snowfall warnings, indicating 15 to 20 centimeters is expected in that area today. For northern Manitoba, plenty of sunshine for you, but bundle up. It is going to be incredibly cold once again. What a fascinating photo. Such a great pose of this little spruce grouse that Paul was able to capture over the in the Riding Mountain National Park area. So keep the pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
All right, Easter is just around the corner, but the Easter Bunny is at our doorstep. Good morning, Denise. You look adorable.
Hello. I have a second job today.
Hey, listen, I love it. You've got to have fun with this holiday, right?
Exactly. It's all about fun for the whole family.
Okay, so let's kick us off, because you've been like our DIY expert for a while, and you always do some fun things, whether it's filling the Easter basket, doing the crafts, you name it. Where do you want to begin today?
Absolutely. So let's start off with a fun craft that all the kids will love. This is a little DIY mini chick, and it's so easy to make. Kids of all ages will enjoy doing it. I just took some hard cardstock, cut into white. I wrap this with pipe cleaners, but you can wrap it with yellow yarn, and then just add some googly eyes, add some little feathers, you know, and little beak, cut it out with more construction paper. So it's very easy to make, very cute to do. This is great to, you know, get the kids excited for the Easter weekend that's coming up very soon.
Yeah, that will surely stir up the excitement. Not to mention those little chicks are almost as adorable as you with those bunny ears. All right, you might be bringing a basket full of chocolates for us. I'm imagining so, because we can't do Easter without chocolate, right?
Exactly. What is Easter if there is no chocolate, whether it's the mini eggs or the cream eggs? Cadbury is synonymous with Easter. So these are perfect, whether you're building baskets or doing a hunt, or maybe it's just for a sweet moment, maybe an after dinner treat for everybody. Cadbury last year released their micro minis hollow egg. So this is a delicious egg that's hollow with the micro minis inside, and this year they've released the Cadbury caramel buttons hollow egg. So same thing, but with their incredible caramel buttons inside. I don't know if you've tried these, but they are absolutely scrumptious. So good. You know, it has to be Cadbury if it's Easter chocolate, and this is just such a nice treat. These are brand new this year, and you can find these at stores nationwide.
I love them. I have tried those caramel buttons, and let me tell you, they're dangerous. I thought the Easter little mini eggs were dangerous, but those other things, next level. All right.
They're very addictive.
Yes, exactly. We don't want to run out of time, and you still got some great decor to share.
Absolutely. So finally, let's pull it all together with a beautiful display. This is all about presentation, about putting a little bit of extra oomph to really make the little things magical. So whether you're filling a basket or creating a beautiful display, you don't have to stretch your budget when you shop at Giant Tiger. They have Easter essentials, everyday essentials at everyday low prices. Whether it's Easter decor, they've got toys and activities for kids too. You know, they also have matching Easter pajamas for the whole family. My family loves the Giant Tiger pajamas. They're so soft and so comfortable. Always fun patterns. You can shop in store at Giant Tiger or online at gianttiger.com, and they always have excellent savings, Easter savings.
I love that. I also love the matching pajamas, and I'll tell you, we've got adult kids now, and we still make them dress up and do like the photo in all the matching pajamas. They cringe, and we love it.
That's what being a mom's all about. We're the parents, we're in charge forever.
Exactly, I love it. Thanks so much for all of these great ideas, Denise. Happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Here's a look at Osborne right now. Osborne Street is open right now, but police have said that Roslyn Road is closed due to some sort of investigation. That's all we know at this point. So you might want to avoid this area, but overall, looks like things are moving well. We'll be right back after this.
All right, we've watched that temperature drop off all morning long, now sitting at -6, which is hopefully where we'll stay steady now. We don't want to lose too many more degrees. It's already well below seasonal, and a bit of a breeze to go along with that out of the north-northeast, gusting to 41 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 93%. We've been watching the snow off and on at varying paces over the course of the moment. When I was just upstairs 10 minutes ago on the rooftop, it was kind of in an off moment, but it doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. You can see how much activity is still moving through much of southern Manitoba, and that's going to continue on throughout the day today. So there we are, just kind of having a bit of an off moment, but there's certainly more that's just going to find its way toward us and all throughout the south, as you can see. Some places slightly milder, getting all of the different colors, the freezing rain or the more mixed precipitation. More of central Manitoba is getting straight up snow, and for northern Manitoba, you're just dealing with the cold. Clear conditions, plenty of sunshine across northern Manitoba, but the temperatures that are well below seasonal. However, we've fallen well below seasonal, not normal low temperatures. Normal lows would be about -8, so we haven't gotten there yet, but a normal daytime high would be around 3 degrees, and we're only going to continue to get further from that number. And tonight we could drop below seasonal down to -12. With the flurries continuing, they should taper off tomorrow, the sky clearing out, but just not warming up much. -7 our expected high. It will eventually warm, but we'll probably have to wait until the weekend before that happens, when we're back up to those more seasonal temperatures and then closer to the freezing mark as we continue through next week.
Amaranth, RCMP are seeking the public's help in the search for a missing 13-year-old female. On March 24th, RCMP received a report that Cleo Rubb Roulette had gone missing. Roulette was last seen at her residence in Langruth, about 155 kilometers northwest of Winnipeg, Tuesday morning at about 4:30. RCMP believes she may be in Portage la Prairie or at Ebb and Flow First Nation. They are concerned for her well-being. Roulette is described as 4 feet 10 inches tall, with straight brown hair, brown eyes. She has braces, a slim build, and wears fake eyelashes. RCMP said it is unknown what she was last seen wearing. Anyone with information as to the whereabouts of Cleora Roulette is asked to call Amaranth RCMP at 204-843-2691 or Crime Stoppers. Spring has returned to Winnipeg, and with the change of season comes that unwelcome yearly obstacle course. Yes, we're talking about the bumper crop of potholes that sprung up lately.
We have some locations that we visit daily just to keep going and to keep those roads safe.
Michael Cantor, the city's manager of street maintenance, says they've already filled 15,000 potholes this year, and he says there's a big effort underway to patch even more right now. However, some streets, especially ones nearing the end of their operational lifespan, aren't cooperating. Active Courier company owner Clark Palole says his drivers are constantly trying to avoid potholes. Sometimes they can't, and their vehicles get damaged.
Mainly to our axles, a lot of our wheel bearings, and just generally the drivetrain itself. Potholes are a major factor in regards to those things.
At the moment, the city is using an asphalt cold mix to patch the potholes. In May, they'll switch over to the hot asphalt, which offers a longer lasting repair. Michael Cantor says they have identified some roads that will get an asphalt overlay during the summer, which should result in fewer potholes the next spring. Scientists at the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland are experimenting with antiprotons. Usually that's nothing new, but this experiment involves transporting the tiny particles. The antiprotons were placed in a special box, then put on a truck for a test drive. Anyone who's concerned this will lead to the Earth being sucked into a black hole, don't worry. The worst that can happen is the antimatter comes in contact with matter and goes poof. After the test drive, CERN called the experiment a success. The runway where the crash happened won't reopen until at least Friday morning, and that's still causing major delays at LaGuardia. But as CTV's Joy Malbin tells us, it's not the only airport where the wait times are long.
As if air travel isn't difficult enough, take a look at some major American airports. Massive lineups snaking outside terminals and security grindingly slow. TSA agents have gone a month without pay, many calling in sick, and hundreds have already quit, blaming a partial government shutdown.
Oh my God, this is insane. I mean, I've never experienced anything like this. It's crazy. It's insane. I mean, I've never seen an airport like this.
President Donald Trump deployed ICE agents, but without training on airport X-ray machines, all they can really do is crowd control.
When I've seen them, they've just been standing around talking.
Democrats refuse to fund ICE until changes are made to the president's hardline immigration operations after 2 Americans were killed in Minneapolis.
It's a simple solution, Donald Trump. Pay the TSA workers, so you don't have to bring ICE agents in there.
The president, with his newly minted Homeland Security chief, says Republicans are working on a compromise that would fund everything but ICE enforcement.
As you know, they're negotiating a deal. I guess they're getting fairly close, but I think any deal they make, I'm pretty much not happy with it.
As frustration boils over, from missed flights to waits of up to 4 hours or more, checkpoint chaos, and safety concerns over air traffic control staffing shortages, just another reason why Canadians are taking a hard pass on the U.S. Stats Canada reports return trips from the U.S. plunged 22% from the year before, driven also by politics, tariffs, and a weak Canadian dollar.
With Congress about to go on recess for spring break, lawmakers are trying to find an off-ramp to this travel turmoil soon. But so far, the president hasn't been terribly enthusiastic.
Here's a look at what's happening right now on Osborne Street. There is a large police presence right now on Roslyn Road, and that could be slowing things up. Roslyn Road is actually closed right now, so you'll want to avoid that part of the city. Let's take a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.73. The provincial average is $1.69. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.70. And the lowest price in the city is $1.52. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. Today is International Waffle Day, so we wanted to know, how do you like your waffles for breakfast? Susan shared she loves homemade waffles loaded with syrup. Sandy says, I do like homemade waffles once in a while with breakfast sausages and maple syrup. Kelly loves waffles with cottage cheese on the top and hot syrup poured over top. Yummy. And Brenda texted, yes, I like fresh fruit, whipped cream, and maple syrup on my waffles. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
Next week is spring break, and if you're looking for something fun to do with the kids during that time so they don't get bored, the Aviation Museum of Western Canada might be the place to check out. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. And the amount of times I've been here and have not been on one of the planes, mind boggles. I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm walking around, I go, it smells funny. And cameraman Kenny says, it smells like old plane. And I'm like, it's because it is an old plane. And yeah, for the kids, spring break, it's perfect. And it's space themed. Joining me now is Peter George. Thank you for being here. He's the CEO. You guys have a special connection to space. Tell us a little bit about that theme and why it came to be.
Well, this is a special year for aerospace and aviation with a moon launch, the first time the moon will have been circled since the last Apollo landing. So everybody in our industry is very excited about this, and we're using it as a stepping stone to leverage excitement about aerospace. And so we've themed our spring break programming around aerospace and around space travel and space technology. So we've got courses in a variety of items that we're going to be teaching over spring break. And it's because there's going to be a labor shortage in years to come of engineers and people who want to work in aerospace industries, and Winnipeg's aerospace industries are burgeoning. So Jeremy Hansen, he's going to be the first Canadian to leave low Earth orbit ever. He's going to be the farthest away Canadian who ever get this far away from Earth. And he's been a guest here a couple of times. He last spoke here in 2024. And he signed this saber behind us for us. He is a former squadron pilot with Squadron 441. He's a real friend of the museum, and he's been here a few times, and he's a big supporter of what we're doing here in our STEM education programs.
That is just so cool.
That's pretty cool.
What does it do for a child who comes through these doors, even looking up or getting on the plane like I referenced?
Well, you know, it's about that, creating that spark of imagination that aerospace is cool, that planes are cool, and we use all these planes to teach them the basics of flight. But it really gets them excited to understand that they can have a career in that kind of industry, and that there's great possibility. So we get them usually when they're in elementary school, but we're developing curriculum into high school to keep that spark going.
Thank you so much. Well, it might be too late for me, but some smart child out there. Okay, come here on the 28th, though, for spring break programming.
Thank you, Ainsley. And spring break is coming, but it certainly doesn't look like spring today.
No, but I do think that for next week, is it next week that's spring break?
Yes.
Yeah. My calendar. Okay, next week the temperature should be a lot milder, so I think a lot of folks will be happy about that. The rest of this week, sure, it might be a little bit cool. That temperature has only been dropping off over the course of the morning. We're now sitting at -6. The snow has tapered, but I'm not convinced that it's done by any means. We'll probably see that off and on throughout the day today. Those winds right now, I'm sheltered from them, thankfully, because they're strong. Out of the north-northeast, they're gusting to 41 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 93%. I never mind the north wind as much because it's on my back when I'm walking home, but it certainly is going to add a little bit of a chill for those that find themselves directly in that wind, unsheltered by it, as I am this morning. Heavier clouds, they'll be hanging around, and yes, the precipitation off and on throughout the day today, with those snowfall warnings still in place through west central Manitoba. Environment Canada warning of 15 to 20 centimeters of snow. Now, where it's the clearest, it's also the coldest. Northern Manitoba, this is nothing new. You've been dealing with the well below seasonal temperatures for days now, and that will continue. Yes, plenty of sunshine, but the temperatures so much colder than you'd expect, so throw those extra layers on and limit your time outdoors. Here in the south, it's not going to be that cold, but it will be a below seasonal day. We've fallen throughout the day today. Tomorrow won't be rising much, although tomorrow we should be seeing a return to sunshine and a slight bit of a warm-up as we're looking ahead to the weekend. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Good morning. A staffing crunch is squeezing small businesses across the country, with parts of the service industry feeling it in Saskatchewan. Here's CTV's Alison Bamford on why the hiring challenge is getting worse.
Christina Bone's cleaning business started in her basement about 8 years ago. Back then, she says hiring was a little easier.
I was hoping to have about 10 people within 2 years, and I did that in 6 months.
The Southeast Saskatchewan business, based in Estevan, has grown every year since. Bone is in the middle of opening up a new laundromat, but says she needs to hire 10 more employees to keep up with demand.
We're starved for people, and to grow in a service industry, you need that person. You can't just sell more product. You need someone to go out and do the work.
She turned to temporary foreign workers a few years ago to help fill the labor gap. But Bone could now lose 2 of her cleaning staff in November, with more than 1.3 million temporary foreign work permits set to expire in the country by the end of the year.
For businesses, that means that they will have to replace those workers and retrain somebody and look to hire somebody. And so the hit to their productivity will be massive.
In 2024, Ottawa placed a 10% cap on the number of low-wage temporary foreign workers a company can hire. The cap will increase to 15% next month for rural employers, but provinces and territories have to opt in. The new measures would translate to about 2 positions here at the Crossroads Inn.
I don't know how they expect us to survive on that.
Hiring Canadians is still the priority for the businesses we spoke to, but they say it can be hard to attract applicants in their line of work.
And because this is a small town in rural Saskatchewan, it's harder than anywhere else.
Added stress that they say could be saved by drawing from a larger pool of workers. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Rainbow Stage is getting ready for its 2026 season, and one of its productions this summer will include roles for 4-legged performers, and it's going to be a professional experience for all involved. Joining us now to tell us more is Rainbow Stage's artistic director, Carson Natchez. Good morning, Carson.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's good to see you. You had a big year last year.
Biggest in memory, yes.
Ever.
We had over 60,000 people through our doors last summer for Frozen and Rock of Ages, and we're following it up with Jesus Christ Superstar and Legally Blonde, and people are really excited.
Okay, so tell us about how ticket sales are going already at this point.
They are, I mean, Frozen was an anomaly, but it is ahead of everything that we've done in the last 25 years. So
really?
It's just, I think, you know, Rainbow Stage provides a wonderful local grass touching experience in the summer that just, it's a feel good family event, and I think people just they look forward to it. It's a family tradition, and it's growing.
And the season is so short, right? You just want to get out and enjoy the summer festivities and activities you can do. Yeah, I bet. Okay, well, let's talk about this whole Legally Blonde the musical, because Bruiser is a big part of the actual movie.
Big part, small dog.
I'm sorry. There you go. Tell us about what you're doing to find Bruiser.
Well, you know what? We have had live dogs on stage before, and but not since I've been in my role.
Okay.
We've built these incredible marionettes to play Toto, but right now we are about to launch auditions for the role of Bruiser. We're looking for a Chihuahua, and we're also looking for the role of Rufus. And French Bulldog can fill that role. We're doing auditions on April 19th, and the deadline to submit at rainbowstage.ca is April 6th. So, you know, you need to prepare 16 barks of music.
Okay.
And that's a musical theater show. But, you know, if you think your dog has some star power, we'd be excited to see them.
And how hard is it for performers to be on stage with animals? Because it's it's almost like a taboo thing, right?
That's right. They say to never perform with children or animals, and we break those rules all the time. Mostly because they live in the moment. You know, our Sandy and Annie in 2012 ran off the stage into the audience. And, you know, they have, and that's why we're looking for well-trained dogs who can bark on cue, enter on cue, are great with people. And we get 2,000 people a night in our audience. And so there'll be a round of applause when your pup comes on stage. So if they need to be okay with the orchestra and all those people as well.
There's lots going on there.
There's lots going on.
And for audience members, please no bacon in your pockets.
Right? Otherwise, I know maybe we should not sell popcorn this summer. Just kidding. Yeah.
So what's the most exciting thing for you for this season?
Well, I mean, it's again an almost entirely local cast, and so we're sort of a shop local theater. We're dedicated to local talent. We educate the talent, put them on our stage, and it's our 10-year anniversary of Camp Rainbow.
Okay.
And we're celebrating the people who have come up through our training programs and are on our stage. So not only do we have an awesome family summer for you, we have amazing local talent to
That is
celebrate
amazing.
too.
And you're already selling tickets and doing quite well.
Doing great.
So if someone wants to check any of these shows out this summer, what should they do?
They should go to rainbowstage.ca and you'll find all the information that you need.
You make it so easy.
Oh, good.
And of course, we have a link on our website as well.
Awesome. Thank
you so much.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
All right. Yeah, nothing more entertaining than watching a dog on stage, right? You just never know. A different show every night. All right, -6, that's where the temperature sits, though it feels like -14. Those winds, they're out of the north-northeast, gusting to 41 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 93%. So it has cooled down over the course of the morning. Hopefully just holding steady now with where these temperatures are, although we're likely to lose a few more degrees overnight, dropping a little bit colder and then staying a little bit colder tomorrow. But all of this will likely have tapered off by then. Throughout the day today, off and on scattered flurries all through central and southern Manitoba. Further into the north, clearer, but so much colder. Now, I mentioned a little bit colder overnight and through tomorrow. Sure, a little bit of sunshine, but closer to normal low temperatures than seasonal daytime highs. Normal highs this time of year would be +3 degrees. And it's going to take until the end of the weekend before we're seeing those plus-digit temperatures, and even there, just closer to the freezing mark as we're continuing throughout much of next week. Taking a break right now, but stick around. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, spring break will be in full swing next week, and many people will be traveling. So we kick things off with a hotel that is both futuristic and prehistoric at the same time.
What are those dinosaurs?
Yeah. Nothing weird here. Those are dinosaurs at the desk. Anna Lynn did not know that she'd be checked in by dinos when she booked the Hena Resort and Spa, Kansai Airport in Japan. She was creeped out at first, but did admit that they were more polite than some humans she knows. Wow, strange. Until they show up in your room in the middle of the night. Well, some roommates just coexist while others do things like this.
Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find, reaching for something in the distance.
Fast friends Johnny, Caden, and Ron are here to remind you that life is short, so be silly and make memories with your people. That's incredible.
They've practiced that for a very long time,
sure.
You can tell.
And lastly, love at first bite. This toddler is eating a burger for the first time and is loving it. Watch him close his eyes to savor the moment, and then followed by a happy little dance. Look at this. Oh yeah, that burger
the good stuff
is good. The smile says it all. Love that so much. That does it for us. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.